Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer's here. Hello, Sam.
Hey.
Real quick, we are doing a huge Black Friday sale for our merch.
Huge.
And the code is BDM25 for 25% off.
Just giving it to everyone, huh?
Well, listen, it's only BDMs.
It's BDM25.
Also, if you're not a BDM and you use the code to get 25% off your merch order, shame on you.
I like that. We don't do that
Christmas.
anymore. We don't do a big
You're going
shame
to
on you
steal
anymore.
from us and not even be a $1.95 BDM? I mean, think about what you've done.
We won't do anything, but we'll know.
I'll
know.
I need to get the code out there. We need to get rid of some merch.
You're doing us a favor.
It's
Well,
really
we have too much in
sizzle.
or you have too much in storage,
and we have to pay for the storage.
And I started thinking, I was like, wait a minute, and storage fees and how much money? Like
Yeah,
all
yeah.
this merch is
Liquidate,
worthless.
liquidate.
We're now paying for it. Like
Liquidate.
all the money, the margins we could have made have all been eaten away
get it
in
all
storage
out.
fees.
Just get it all out.
So it's all now we're just paying to house a bunch of Chinese garbage.
Yeah.
And we need to blow it out.
It's like
Please buy our Chinese garbage.
It's like all the old copies of the ET video game. They're all buried
in the desert
all of our
in
shirts
Arizona.
in a landfill.
And if you do buy, we're going to give you more Chinese garbage in your order of all the other free stuff
Is
we
that the
gave
stuff
out
that
at
was
the
in the
beer
bag?
fest.
If you
Beer
order
fest?
now-
we had a lot of leftover. Nobody wanted it.
If you order now,
I was digging it out of the trash can.
You did all that work to fill those bags.
Yeah.
if you order now, you'll
Yeah.
be ordering during Tom and Dan Garbage Week, where we send you plastic garbage we have left over from our events.
I am disgusted.
He's disgusted.
Buy everything.
Okay, it is time for Nerd Jock. We have to fulfill our obligation. Let's get it over with.
Jack.
Nerds.
Jack.
Nerds.
Jack.
Nerds.
Jock, nerd, jock, nerd.
Jack.
It's Nerd Jock with EJ. How you doing, EJ?
Good. How you doing? How was your gambling this weekend? I tried to get your idea on what was last night's game.
Still addicted.
Yeah. Well, I had a lot of Eagle teasers, so as long as they didn't lose by 8 or 8.5, I was
They won
fine,
last
and
night,
they
so
won.
you're
So
good,
it was
yeah.
good.
That was a good game.
It was a good game.
Yeah, a little back and forth.
First time Jason beat Travis.
Yeah.
That was kind of good.
A lot of sacks. I
No
enjoyed
Taylor
that.
Swift there, so that kind of always
That
hurts
was nice.
Travis. Yeah.
It was nice to not have
They're
Taylor.
only showing Mama Kelsey most of the time.
Sick of Mama
Yeah.
Kelsey. Sick of her. Sick of the Kelseys.
Well, why-
Sick of all the.
I don't want to
am.
see them in commercials anymore.
I'm sick of Mama Kelsey.
No.
I'm
Like,
sick of.
Strap in,
I'm
buddy.
sick
It's
of
only
I
the
know they're
gonna
gonna
get
get
worse.
worse. Yeah.
Sick of those guys.
I'm not gonna get State Farm.
Sick of
because
Tom Brady.
them.
Sick of Tom Brady too. Shut your
Chicken
mouth.
Haven't
Campbell
seen him in a while,
suit.
so-
No, he's back.
He's in the
news.
Hertz commercials. They're really
He's-
bad.
He's back in the news saying
I
that
love
the
Hertz.
NFL is super mediocre now, and he may not be wrong, but
You know what I'm sick of? The phrase tush push.
Yes.
It's brotherly shove.
Yeah, either
Get it
way.
right.
Brotherly
now-
shove, tush push. I hate it all.
Everybody's landed on tush push to describe the play.
I
Where,
thought that was a dance, like the watermelon crawl.
I thought it was a category on Pornhub.
So a couple things. First, people want to give like Jalen Hurt credit for they're like, oh, he can squat 600 pounds.
No, has nothing to do with him.
Yeah, it's the offensive line.
The offensive line getting low
couldn't they do
and
that with
getting
me?
pushed.
Couldn't they do that with me and just take little Danny Denny and just push my round body across the line?
Well,
and I just got to hold on to the ball, right?
here's what
I think I can do that.
Yeah.
And this, when the season's over, I'm gonna call. I pretty much he's in top 5 best friend Ross Tucker.
Oh yeah, you're a good sports friend.
Good sports information.
He's on
for him instead of
TV.
me,
He knows
yeah.
all the coaches. Anyway,
Tom's in negotiation right now for Ross Tucker to take over
Nerd Jock, that's fine.
Yeah.
He won't take the pay.
I need to
so
ask.
He's fine.
I'm like, because I understand the Eagles have a good offensive line and Jason Kelsey is good at his job
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, one of the best to ever play the game, they say.
But it
Yeah.
can't be so much better that nobody else in the NFL or no other offensive line can do this. And so far, they haven't really.
No, most teams can't do it as well as they do.
They, of course, Brady used to do this back. Like Brady used to be known for he can get a yard with the quarterback sneak. Like it was almost
guaranteed.
It was almost as guaranteed as
Yeah.
this damn tush push thing. Which
But
again,
they'd only do it on 3rd and 1. They wouldn't do it on 4th down like the Eagles will do it.
Yeah, well, that was a different time.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
So, like now everybody goes for it on fourth down.
Yeah,
But
statistics.
But so I'm guessing with the Tom Brady, he's tall and obviously kind of can read defenses, but also that's the offensive line too. It's just their ability to get off the ball quick and get a yard and then have Brady just put his head down. And it seems like Jalen Hurts is doing the same
Yeah,
thing.
he's just reading what gap is going to have the most push and see where they are. Yeah.
And there's you have running backs or whatever pushing you as well, but it's still, I don't understand why other teams can't do this because it works every time and it's almost a 100% guarantee. Like when they were on the 1 yard line to get a touchdown, I was like, I'd bet my life right now. You know what I'm saying? Like it was so, I was like, what? How are they not going to get it? And
what was the hubbub about changing the rules regarding it?
Because people are saying it's unfair because it works so much and there's no stopping it, which is ridiculous.
I have seen other teams go to do it, like they
And
go
it
to
gets stopped,
they
yeah.
do go to do it. You see what I'm saying? Like they do try to execute it, they just may get stuffed. In fact, I think my beloved Atlanta Falcons attempted a variation of it that was just abysmal and terrible. And we obviously turnover on downs, but.
The way you stop it is you have to get your defensive linemen have to be lower than them, and you don't have guys jumping over the top. If you jump over the top, you're losing power, and you can't stop the play. You have to get the same amount of scrum going the other way to stop the tush push.
But there's no way to stop it, EJ.
There is a way to
isn't.
stop it, yes. You have to get scrum the same way. It's
EJ, do you
it's
think you're
rugby
smarter
football.
than every defense in the NFL?
The problem is they have to also accumulate.
This
You have to
really
get ready
is
for other
disgusting.
plays is
No,
what
no,
I'm saying.
but
You
I
have to be
gotta
ready
know.
for passes on because think about it. If you fake the tush push and throw a pass over the top, you can get a touchdown. So they're afraid of that too. So you have to be ready for that as well.
Yeah.
But if you know they're going to do that, you could stop it. If you do it right and you get a push going the other way, you'll be. The offensive lineman usually
Tom
bigger than
thinks
the
you're an
defensive
idiot. And he thinks he knows football more than you.
lineman. Yeah,
No,
I think
no.
so. Yeah, he's like,
No,
okay.
Yeah.
No, I think
I've heard Jason Kelsey said the same thing. You just have to have a better push
Yeah,
going
but
the other
Jason
way.
Kelsey's Jason Kelsey.
He
You're
knows the
EJ.
play. He knows the play well enough to know how to beat it.
no,
I would ask Jason Kelsey how to beat the
EJ,
tush push.
do you understand? No one knows how to beat it, and they.
No, not knowing. No, I totally disagree because
Do you
they
think-
do it in rugby.
Do you think the Kansas City Chiefs, who I believe is a good organization, right? Who has good coaching,
they're a
right?
good team.
They've won
Wonderful
the Super
team.
Bowl two
Yeah.
times out of the
One
past
of the
3 years.
best.
And do you think that they didn't try their hardest to coach against this because
Yeah.
they knew they were? I mean, from the beginning of the year last year when they were doing this, do you think every team in the NFL before they played the Eagles has like coached
This is what
up
we're
their
gonna do,
players to and then studied it in a room for hours and hours analyzing how low the offensive linemen get, and they're like, this is how we have to stop it. They can't stop it.
Okay, do you
That's
want
what
me
I'm
to get
saying.
into the technicalities of it? Okay, because there's 5 offensive linemen. Okay, there's 5
EJ.
offensive linemen, and usually there's only 4 defensive linemen. So you're already outnumbered that way. You have to bring your linebackers in or bring another defensive lineman in. And that's how I would stop it. I would put 5 on 5 and have a bigger push on both sides.
Do you think that you're smarter than
A lot of the players, a lot of the coaches, yes.
That's absurd.
Okay. All right. He doesn't believe you.
That was only
Hey,
but if you have a bigger defensive
EJ,
lineman
you're a
than your offensive
janitor
lineman,
at a
wow.
You played. You played.
I bring you food today,
college
and this
football.
is the way I get.
No,
But
Okay.
I think the flip side to this would be that we only have one person that's in this room that has actually played football at a very high level, and there's nobody in
I've
this
played
room.
with Hall of Famers.
Yeah, there's nobody in this
Well, guess
room
who
that
plays
is-
higher? The professionals.
I understand that.
Who can't figure out how to stop it.
I
They're-
understand that, but I'm just
They
trying
haven't
to-
figured it out,
I'm
and
just-
you can't figure it out
Yeah.
either.
Why don't they take my advice? Just try my thing once.
They are not going to try your thing because
I'm
100%
just saying, that's what
it
I would
won't
do.
work.
I would bring another defensive lineman in and basically bring another defensive tackle. You got to get someone who's a 300-pounder because you're going against other 300-pounders.
Gotcha.
And that's what you got to do. You got to get lower than they do. That's the whole point of offensive line versus defensive line. Get lower than the other guy and get
Oh,
leverage.
I got it. You should fly to Kansas City and then wait for Andy Reid to come out of the building.
I'll just bring
yeah.
him
And
a
then be
Whopper
like,
I
"Hey,
did Daniel and get on the show.
Andy, I
Excuse
figured
me,
it out.
Excuse me, pardon me.
Hey, I
Are
play.
you Andy Reid?
I have a ring that I earned from sitting on the bench during a
my
national
God.
I was
championship.
behind a bunch of Hall of Famers.
You
I
know,
think they would take my
what you're,
advice.
what you're feeling is the swimming challenge,
I
and it's
know.
going to happen all the time. He's out to get you now.
I know, he's
yeah.
mad at me.
Oh, yeah, real
That's
mad.
Well, he's also he's
yeah.
having a rough go.
Yeah,
He's on a losing
He's
streak.
disgusted.
I
No, he's
played
just
in
mad that he
college.
can't find a band for the Christmas party.
and Truist has now changed all of
Yeah.
our accounts.
I
Do you want me to talk to Truist for you? I can get them to make sure it's not medical anymore.
What
What else
what do
you
you got today, EJ?
Well, I want to know how you did on gambling. We only talked about the Eagles. How'd you do the rest of the week?
I mean,
Weekend.
the problem is because I'm trying to do it right. It's not. I told you. I
You
just
just-
suck
yeah.
at fun of.
It's
So yours-
boring.
yeah.
So there's no extreme highs or lows.
Are
It's
you
all-
doing just a little bit above 50% like you always tried to do?
Probably not. I don't track. I don't have the time to write everything down in
You
an
don't have a
Excel
spreadsheet?
or
Why
anything
not?
because that takes hours upon hours of organization, and I do not have the time for it. There's no way that I.
Well, how many
you know,
bets on a weekend do you usually do?
Probably like 8 to 10.
So you can't keep track of 8 to 10 things a week.
There's a lot of sexual tension between
What
these
is
two
going
today.
on?
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
I
asking
feel like you guys
questions.
want to do the tush push.
Yeah. Hey.
I don't have the time to
No.
go load them in an Excel spreadsheet.
You don't have to put it in a
week to
spreadsheet.
week.
You can do that in your head.
I cannot do it in my head.
You can't keep track of 10 things.
10 bets a week for the entire. The only point of keeping track of all of it would be
Yeah,
the whole season.
the whole season,
I
yes.
can remember every bet of the whole season in my
But
head.
you
It's
remember
week
the
10.
losses, though, right?
There's like 50 bets.
So at least if you remember most of the losses, you'll kind of could figure out how bad you're doing or how good you're doing.
I mean, no
We'll
one
just
What
move
am I
on.
using
Yeah,
too much
we-
logic on the logic
No,
man?
we
Is that
can
what's
just move
going
on.
on?
We can, yeah,
Everybody loses.
Good
I'm
Lord.
disgusted.
These guys need a vacation.
I am disgusted.
Oh my god!
All right, what do you got today?
Well, I was looking at. Have you seen the Cubs are going after Shohei Ohtani?
The
have you
Cubs
seen that?
are.
I hope they get him because that'd be awesome if they got him.
Well, that
they
I-
definitely need him.
That I have not heard. I had heard that, obviously I figured he was going to try to leave the Angels.
Yeah.
And then
Like the Angels, they're dismantling that team. It looks like.
Yeah, but what stinks is, Ron Washington from the Atlanta Braves is actually going there, and I love that guy. And then our third base coach, I'm blanking on his name, he's going too because he's a buddy of Ron's, and they're kind of like a package deal. So it sucks to see like two of our best coaches go to the Angels, but I'm very happy for him to finally get to manage a big league team.
Is
That's
it like
very cool.
going into free agency?
Yeah, he's going to
or-
free agency.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
is it
it's-
open to the
Yeah,
highest
it's
bidder?
the highest bidder. Yeah, he's
But
going to be
there
the,
are only certain teams that he wants to go to. I think
he wants to go to big markets, and he probably wants to go where there's a
Yeah.
lot of Asian influence as well.
We're talking about the greatest baseball player of all
Yeah,
time.
he's like a remember of Babe Ruth, a pitcher and a hitter.
Yeah, he's the only weird thing that's going on right now is that he is injured on the pitching side of things.
Yeah, his
so I
arm.
don't think you'll see him pitching until 2025. So whatever team gets him will be only picking up probably a designated hitter position, I think, at this time. But yeah, it is weird to think that I think the Dodgers were who I thought was going to be the number one.
Yeah,
Like a big
them and the Mariners
a
might
big
go after
LA
him, yeah.
market, like the Dodgers, the sleeper teams I heard are maybe like the Blue Jays, or something like that.
Put it in terms. I don't know baseball very well, but to be an insanely good pitcher and hitter, what does that equate to in like football? Like to be a good quarterback,
Kind of like
and-
Travis Hunter on Colorado, being able to play both defensive back and wide receiver and play it at a high level.
Yeah, there really
That's
isn't
the way but he's
one.
even better than Travis Hunter.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
They're,
Well, hold on.
But
that-
there's not really an equivalent most
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
Because
I don't
I
think
feel
there's
like-
an equivalent.
I feel like if you could put most wide receivers to cover another wide receiver just because they
know the routes.
Yeah,
and stuff like
it's
that,
just
and
like-
kind of have an
Yeah, I
idea
can
of
see
what
that.
he's
you
doing.
know,
Yeah.
but being a pitcher and a hitter are like two different athletic things.
It's
here.
a really hard thing
You
to
know,
do now.
Would it be
Yeah.
like quarterback and a kicker, or like all of a sudden
More
like,
than that. No, it's more than that. It'd be like being a quarterback and and a running back, I feel like, because you're an active offensive player. And he hits home runs.
Yeah,
like he hits.
he's a stud.
It'd be one thing.
Like
He's
Lamar
impressive.
Jackson, is basically quarterback running back.
Lamar
Okay,
Jackson
yeah.
throwing him passes
but
to himself.
but also what he's doing, I guess, is it's
Taysom Hill's a good idea. Shredbear had a good one.
but it's bigger than all of that because it's so rare.
Yeah, no, I
But
don't
that's
think
a good
there's-
comparison. Yeah, Lamar Jackson is pretty close, I think.
I think I think it really has to be quarterback and kicker
Because it's
because
two different positions on both sides of the ball.
also
Special teams position.
it's
Specialized.
two specialized movements.
Yeah.
Like when you're
Kicker's
hitting.
less important though than what Shohei does. I
It's-
would
yeah,
argue.
No,
Yeah.
it's true, yeah. But I'm just saying because a running back and quarterback is like there's a lot of quarterbacks that can run. They're not built like running backs except for like Lamar Jackson, a couple of Cam Newton or something.
Yeah.
But it's like, do you be able to pitch that good?
It's crazy.
And then also hit because that's since I remember most pitchers can't hit.
Shredbear had a good one. Taysom Hill. He's playing tight end, he's playing running back, he's playing receiver and quarterback, and he's like the first player in I think it's 40 years that's done
but
10
he's not-
touchdowns.
But Tim
passes.
Tebow can play a tight end.
Yeah,
No, he
you,
didn't.
you can't put.
He didn't make it the Jaguars
No,
team.
but you can't put Taysom Hill next to Shohei.
Yeah.
It's not. It's
It's not a
that's
good comparison,
disrespectful
but it's
to
pretty
Shohei.
close.
I feel like Lamar Jackson can play tight end position. If you put you know what I'm saying?
he
Like
couldn't block. I don't think Lamar
He's
Jackson
a
could
big-
block as well as Taysom Hill could.
Yeah,
you need to be able
because
to block as a tight end as well.
he's specializing in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
He's a big guy. I think
I definitely think he'll go. Pardon me. I definitely think he'll go to a different team. And
No, he's not staying in the Angels now.
Yeah, I don't think he'll stay there. And we'll see what happens.
Now, I wonder business wise if it's better to take less money but play in a bigger market because you get more endorsement deals, or you just take the most money even though it's a small market, but people say then you're wasting your career because you only have a small window of time while you're the best.
Well, if
and
you're
then,
going for the most money, you're going like New York because they can pay you the most, and you
Yeah.
probably get the most endorsement deals in New York because you're in New York.
Well, my dog is named after Dansby Swanson. Dansby Swanson took the money.
Yeah.
Like we wanted to keep him in Atlanta as a shortstop, but he, once he got the deal that we offered, and then he got bigger deals, he was all about the cash. But the Cubs didn't even make the playoffs last year. So you bring up an interesting question. It's always been. I always thought of myself as being like the type of player, or I like to think that if I were in those roles, that I would like to take the better opportunity, not the money.
yeah,
I'd
think
like
I
to
would go
think
to
that.
Let me
I
go
don't
to
know.
a winner. Yeah.
I've never been in one of those type of scenarios, I guess, before. But yeah, I'd probably rather take the opportunity.
I guess because you could parlay being on, winning a World Series into way more money than you could the
Yeah, for
contract you
advertisement and
get
stuff like that, yeah.
in a
Also,
small market, right?
baseball is an interesting thing in that it's an older game. There is like loyalty. And, there is when you think about your career unfolding before your eyes, you can make a play for, like Chipper Jones, very smart in the idea that, he's very vocal about to certain players. Like, if you have a deal with a team you like, take less money and stay with the
Yeah.
organization you like. That way you're beloved and you're setting yourself up for your future, right? Like you're part of the organization for life.
Yeah.
Instead of bouncing around,
Yeah.
It's hard to get younger people to see that, though, maybe, like maybe they want to just grab the bag. I don't blame you because who knows
Yeah.
what's right for you.
Sure.
And like the argument of hey, you get on a team and stay there your whole career.
That's not the way it's done
Well,
anymore.
but-
That's an old man scenario,
but that team will trade you in a
Oh,
second
oh,
if
yeah.
they could for any
Totally.
advantage.
Oh, yeah,
So
if
it's
you
like-
do
Totally.
something good, yeah.
Right.
So they always want the player to be loyal to the
Yeah.
city or team,
100%.
and then it's like this business isn't loyal to any player.
No.
They'll trade you in a second.
You get a nick on your finger, you're done.
or
Yeah.
if they think there's an advantage.
But I do
to
still
them.
like it. That's the conundrum in my brain
Oh.
is, look, I get it and I fully understand it. But when you go to a different team and you go for the bag, I hate you now.
Yeah, well,
have to.
Or
I
they
have to.
leave your team.
Yeah.
That's what everybody does.
That's
Yeah,
what you
yeah.
got to do. You
Yeah.
gotta, sorry,
Yeah.
I hate you now. I got to do it.
The next thing I have is have you seen the play-in tournament in basketball? It's not the play-in tournament. It's an in-season tournament. They're doing something weird this year. Have you seen this?
Yeah, in the NBA.
Yeah, like they're playing like regular season's game, but they're part of a tournament, and like the winner goes to Las Vegas, and they make like $500,000 for the whole team if they win the
Yeah,
tournament.
it's kind of like what
Like soccer.
like soccer does, where we have tournaments that are going on while you're going through open play. So, you could be playing a regular MLS season, you could be playing a regular EPL or La Liga, or Serie A, and then somewhere along the line there is an
some Lamar Hunt Cup that you're playing.
Yeah,
in.
you're playing in the Lamar Hunt. You're playing in the MLS Cup. You're playing in I like it.
I like it.
I think it's really
interesting.
cool.
But the problem is, how do you like determine which games you try hard in, or like because there's a lot of resting now in the NBA.
You got to let it go for a while, right? Like this, it's too new.
Yeah, they can't make a decision after the season.
It's too new for you to try to project the value of what the tournament will mean, right? It's like, because it's new, you got to get it like 10 years down
This is
the
the first
road.
year, because they know they didn't like the COVID bubble. Everyone hated the coming to Orlando and playing, and no one liked staying at Disney. But it's understandable because you're used to traveling around the world and doing whatever you wanted. So yeah, you have to definitely.
What's the reason for this?
They're just trying to change new things. Like they're trying to make it like more international game. And since people are more used to soccer being international and having in-season tournaments,
I have a theory.
They're definitely playing towards the soccer crowd.
I have a theory on this. Okay, here's my theory of why they're playing to the soccer crowd. European basketball, and this is just a theory.
The Serbians and stuff like that.
They are doing the farm system that they already do with soccer.
Yeah.
And in Europe, when you look at basketball, they'll have like 2 and 3 basketball farm teams in other countries. And we don't really have a farm system, right?
No.
And they're applying the same, technology and knowledge to what they did with soccer to basketball. And then you're seeing a lot of these guys that have been playing ball over in Europe for years in leagues, professional leagues, that'll now come into the NBA and they're big men, like tall dudes that can shoot.
They're like 6'10", but they're shooting like Dirk
changing the
Nowitzki.
game. Like they're finding a niche. They're like, it's like a different style. It's like, no different than a really mobile quarterback now, or a quarterback that it can at least, when the pocket closes, he knows how to get out of trouble, right?
Yeah, and they're used to this in Europe, and then so they're like, why don't we do the same
some stuff like that in
That's
America.
what I think. That's what I think I think we're looking at it, and they're like, well, it's a little bit extra revenue. We can sell extra tickets. And then if it does get, yank, it could end up being the type of tournament that like a younger team wins to like fire them on. Like, I don't know, just like any other sport.
Although as a big dumb American, which I'm very proud of, I don't understand it. I don't like it.
I'm disgusted by it.
I'm disgusted because I don't know what this is, and I don't know what Lamar Hunt is. And I don't like it. On to the next thing.
Next.
Well, I don't really have that much more sports. You want to over nerd stuff?
Let's go to nerd, yeah.
Okay, I went and saw the Trolls movie this weekend, which if you have kids and you have adults that are from the 90s, you'll love the movie. I'm just giving you that right now.
I felt
Trolls
bad.
band together.
I felt really bad because Trolls band together. I saw the red carpet walk, and it was like all of the voice actors, and then it was like the 3 members of NSYNC standing behind the voice actors, and I'm like, well, why the hell are they there?
Their voices,
and they were standing back, and they were standing like uncomfortable. Like Chris Kirkpatrick looks like I would look if I had been asked to stand on the red carpet for Trolls.
Yeah,
world domination or whatever this thing's called. Like we're band together. Yeah.
Are they singing in it?
Spoilers. They have a
on-
small part in the movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, at least they're, they have a part of the movie.
They're part of it, but it's
But
a really
still-
small part.
Yeah, but still, you made them come to the premiere as voice
Well,
actors.
because everybody made a big deal about NSYNC
Them
getting
coming back together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
and
it's
that's
a
all
hoodwink.
Yeah, that's all it was for. Was
Yeah,
for this
it's a
dumb
hood.
movie.
You're scamming me.
Yeah.
You're scamming me.
So I've seen how many Trolls movies
There's
are
2,
there?
and there's a
2?
Christmas special. Yeah,
I
my
just-
kids love it,
I've
so
at
that's
least
why I've seen all of them.
Seen one of them, and
You always said I look like a Bergen.
yeah.
Yeah, McLovin does the voice, the one main Bergen.
It did give me a horrible thing to teach my sons because when we're out and about, I'll lean over and be like, "That's a Bergen over there," and then, because there are some humans that do look like Bergen.
Yeah,
They
like
do.
Bruce Valanche.
And it's
Bruce Valanche is a
Oh,
Bergen,
yeah.
like a real Bergen.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Are they called Bergens? Did I get that right?
That's
Yeah, yeah.
My memory's
the
back.
Bergens eat the trolls in the first movie. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna go
and
with
that's the only way they can feel joy.
I'm gonna go with a hot take. You
Yeah?
know the girl Bergen that they dress up,
the
do
one
the
that plays
makeover?
Zoe Deschanel.
Yeah, they do the makeup on. ugly. That is an ugly burger.
She desperately needs to see a dentist. That's the one that bothers me the most
now,
about
Zoe
him.
Deschanel.
Oh, she's amazing.
all day long. All day long.
And if you're
But not that Bergen.
if you're a human Bergen, you know it too.
Yeah, you know you're a Bergen. Yeah.
Because you've
Yeah.
seen trolls,
Yeah.
and then you're like, wait,
Yeah,
wait
yeah.
a minute, what? And then it dawns
Yeah.
on you, you're like, I have a body
Yeah.
type.
Bergen quality.
I am a Bergen.
I
Yeah.
am Bergen
So,
adjacent.
I'm,
so instead of unfortunates, you call them Bergens.
I am Billy Bergen.
yeah, I'm the Bergen King.
Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah.
But definitely go see it. Amy Schumer does one of the voices as the
Uh-oh.
evil. Like,
I'm out.
Yeah, well,
Why?
she's the one. She's the bad guy.
Oh.
She's the bad lady in it.
I just
Yeah.
like
He
A
raped
lot of
someone?
bad press lately
Yeah,
about
well,
her
yeah.
stances.
There
Well,
are.
her and Justin Timberlake. That's the other thing. Am I
What's
supposed to go
your
see
stance?
that
Sure,
with that?
I guess Amy Schumer and Justin.
Yeah.
Hold on a
Timberlake.
second.
Am I
Amy-
supposed to see that?
Amy Schumer is a Bergen.
No.
Yes, she's a Bergen.
She is if
Bergen adjacent.
it's like if she drank from the wrong grail and it turned you into a Bergen, and then you gave her 3 Mississippis and then stopped it.
a non-fully formed
Yeah, yeah,
Bergen.
yeah, yeah.
Bergen
She-
Light.
She,
a
she's
Berg Light.
beginning of the Bergen.
Beginning to
A
look a
Bergen.
lot like
Oh.
Bergen.
Yeah.
Is
a
Anna
Bergen.
Kendrick problematic? Because she's the only one that's not
I just heard
problematic
she's
in that
kind
movie.
of a bitch, but
Yeah.
that's fine.
Eh.
In Amy Schumer's last special, she talked about like she has a hunchback.
You
Bergen.
watched her special?
Checks out.
Yeah.
Bergen.
What's wrong with her? I don't know
I don't know.
anything.
Don't
there's
talk
noth-
about
There's
it.
nothing
Yeah.
wrong. Whatever. I don't.
I
Hey, what?
What? Hold on. Tell me. What,
no, I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying. I don't usually watch her special.
Did she say something about the Jews?
Yeah. Yes.
She did.
I think she did, yeah.
She is-
How did I guess
She's
that?
Jewish.
She's Jewish.
Yeah, she is
But
Jewish.
did she say like some Kanye West thing? What did she say?
No. I don't even know what I don't even know what we're talking about.
Oh, okay.
She
Nah.
said some things about anti-Palestine and yeah.
Hamas and all that stuff.
Yeah. The flow like a river things. Yeah, like people love that.
Back to being a big dumb American. I don't even understand. I don't even
We tried to move
understand.
Hold on a
past
second. If you admit you're a big dumb American, you're a Bergen.
Oh, big old Bergen.
When someone
did say
says
his
something,
name was Billy
like,
Bergen.
they said something about Palestine. I'm like, oh. And then I'm like,
What does it mean?
in my
Oh,
mind,
no.
I'm like, is that good
oh,
or bad? Like, I don't know anything. I don't know what. They support Palestine. Oh, wow, good.
Yeah.
Oh. I don't know.
Well, how do you feel about Chili's and Boys to Men being there?
Chili's the restaurant.
Yeah, you haven't
they
seen the Boys. You haven't seen the Boys to Men commercial with Chili's? Did the baby back ribs?
Hold on a second. In Sync was the Chili's commercial.
No.
What
Back
they-
in the day, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Well, hold on a second. You can't one or the other Chili's. You got to pick
No,
a
they got
no.
Boys to Men now.
Chili's has to pick a favorite boy band. You can't advertise with No, this is like the Sprint T-Mobile guy. You can't do that. You can't advertise with
Yeah, but
NSYNC and
we
have
just
them
talked
sing
about loyalty.
the Riblet song,
They'll
and
fire
then
you in a
switch to Backstreet Boys. You can't do that. That's not allowed.
Who's been in a Chili's lately?
I have. I love going to Chili's. The
Wait
one
a
by the
minute.
Florida
If you
Mall.
have, you're a Bergen.
I went into the Chili's by UCF.
Why?
By maybe a year and a half ago
Oh,
with
okay.
Crystal.
Oh, wow.
I don't know why, but
Dude, the 3 for Me is amazing. It's like $10.99.
Oh, come on.
And you get like a side and
Stop.
it's
A
the
burger?
Bahamas.
It really
like,
is.
like the lights are flickering.
Yeah.
It
I
seems like the
rented
apocalypse.
No,
rented
the one
a
by the
jet
Florida Mall's
ski.
not bad.
I rented a jet ski in the parking lot of Chili's.
There's no reason to ever go there. It's
I would advertise for Chili's for sure.
the
You are human Chili's.
Yeah.
the mugs are plastic.
Yeah. I don't like that.
Just,
I
come
don't
on.
like that. What else you got for nerd?
Okay, I definitely saw the Marvels as well. The movie with Carol Danvers and Miss Marvel, and I guess she's Photon now.
Is this the
The
marvelous
Marvels.
Miss Marvel?
No, that's the Miss Marvelous Mavel or whatever his name
Maisel.
is. Yeah,
Oh,
Maisel,
okay.
yeah. That's
All-
different, yeah.
all
It's a
that
new MCU movie.
The only headlines I've seen
Is it
about
didn't
the
do
movie-
well.
It didn't
Yeah.
do well.
It didn't do well at the box
But
office.
doesn't it have all the spoilers for like?
But it was fun.
like what's happening with like all
Loki.
Well, isn't it like connecting? all
It's
the
connecting a
pieces?
lot of stuff.
Yeah,
yes.
I've heard from
it's a
people that are-
connection movie for
this,
sure.
This is what I heard. I'm a non-Marvel guy. In fact, I'm the only person here that, as I sit here, I've only seen Iron Man 1, That's it.
That's it.
That's it. That's all I got.
yeah.
I started the Iron Man that has that fudgy guy in it with the melted face that had the whips.
Mickey Rourke.
I started
Yeah,
that.
that's
That's
Iron
20
Man
years
2.
old. I started 2, and I was like, I can't do this. This is for babies.
Yeah, no, me.
So-
Where he's driving a race car in Monte
So,
Carlo.
What I was told is that the Marvels
Marvels,
movie
yeah.
it ties everything into a little bow.
It ties in
and you
WandaVision. It ties
absolutely
in
have
Miss
to
Marvel.
watch it to understand what's happening. And I'm
And
like,
it's
well, if
setting
it's
up
doing
the incursions.
if it's doing so poorly, then go back to my original statements, you stupid Marvel fools. All of this stuff was garbage. If this was really your payoff and this was such a great story, you guys would have crushed it at the box office. But you didn't, which leads me to believe even you're bored of it. Change my mind.
I think
They're bored of it.
It's just
Even the guys that love it are bored of it.
I
No
thought-
one can fight me on that.
I thought it was universally known it was doing poorly because it was a female superhero.
Yeah, because it's all
Okay,
girl team. Yeah, that's why
okay.
it was. Yeah.
That's what I wrote down.
You mailed that to yourself.
I don't agree with it, but
Yeah.
I thought that's why.
That's part of it, yeah.
It
And
did
a lot of people
poorly.
don't like the main actress,
Yeah.
Brie Larson, so
Why? Why don't they like her?
they just don't like her for some reason. I don't know.
She's too good looking.
She's very attractive, yeah.
I like my
I like her.
superheroes to be good looking.
I don't believe that she's that
I
strong.
look her at Scott Pilgrim.
The best superhero movie of all time,
Deadpool,
was
Logan?
Dark
Dark Knight.
No, the one that you and I like because the two superheroes are getting it on in the space capsule.
Oh,
Oh, Watchmen.
Watchmen, the original Watchmen, best superhero.
See,
movie.
that was bad. Only because we all wanted the comic book, and the movie wasn't exactly like the comic book.
That's true.
Yeah.
You got one more for us, or is that it?
I'm trying to think of what else I have.
I'm glad you wrote it all down today.
I know. I did a really not being
Yeah, yeah.
prepared and.
Well, that's
and
all right.
do
You
anything,
brought us
yeah.
Whopper.
I brought you food. Yeah. You got,
Why did I eat
what
that?
did you guys think about the Burger King? Like,
God awful.
Tom's really mad.
I'm like eating. I'm mad.
you guys complained about
chicken
sticking up the
fries.
I ate a
place.
Whopper.
Cold
It was
chicken
No, you
delicious.
gotta heat them up.
You gotta heat 'em
she
up.
hit 'em up.
I
They were-
hit 'em
My
up.
Whopper
Yeah.
was hot.
But-
My Whopper was hot, but I only ate the Whopper. But man, I can feel it. It's right on the cusp.
Yeah.
I can feel it ready to go.
Eating this garbage. I'm like, I don't want to.
I think it was an instant Bergen scenario.
Yeah. Oh,
As
I'm
soon
about
as you eat it.
I ate a hamburger.
You guys were talking about Burger King the other week. I was like, I'm gonna go bring you guys some Burger King.
Yeah,
and bring it in.
stunk the whole studio. up. The whole
I
studio.
ruined Kenny's segment
I mean,
by
we
sticking
had-
out
Were
the
we
studio.
saying how much we hated it? Because I think we were.
That's why it made me laugh. And you still ate it.
So I was too lazy to walk and get my salad. I was just like, I'll eat this garbage.
You did say that.
Yeah.
I was happy to eat the Whopper, but I didn't know it was gonna like.
It
I'm
sits with
ready.
you.
Like
Yeah.
I need for
You
us to
didn't
end-
know a Whopper was going to give you diarrhea?
I didn't know that.
That's on you.
Oh, I need to end the day. Like
I'm
now.
looking forward to your
We got a
next
whole
interview.
other
You got an
interview.
interview after this.
I know.
So I know we talked about this already. Not to go back to sports, but
Okay.
they're doing the first ever Black Friday.
Yeah, the game,
NFL
the Dolphins
game.
versus the Jets
And
at 1:30. I'm looking forward to that.
It starts at 3 p.m. Eastern.
I guess the coverage starts at 1:30.
And but I'm like, why did they make it like the stereotypical NFL night game? You know, it's like, why start it at 3? Only because you think that more of an audience would watch it at night because there are still people that work on Friday. You know what I'm saying? Not all of America is off.
Maybe they're banking on more people being off to buy those tickets, but it's never about
The ticket sales don't
You're gonna
matter.
It's
go there.
never
TV,
about
the
ticket
yeah,
sales.
viewers.
It's always
TV,
about TV viewers, right? So
They think you're done with your shopping by that point, is what they're hoping.
Yeah, but why? But okay, so my thing is like, all right, Monday Night Football starts at 8:30 Eastern, right? Sunday
Yeah.
Night Football is 8:30 Eastern, right? It's like, and Thursday night games start at 8:30 or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, why not make the Monday night or the first
Make it
ever?
Friday. Yeah.
First ever Black Friday game. Because like everybody's kind of used to the night games, and it's the standalone game, and other like Monday and Thursday standalone, they always do it.
It's the simplest answer, Tom.
Friday night.
time
It is,
zones?
Money.
Yeah.
So Amazon is incorporating Black Friday deals during the broadcast.
There you go.
So they will have QR codes during the
there's
NFL
gonna be
game to spur
commercials
more
the whole time,
purchases
yeah.
throughout the day of Black Friday.
So they'll unveil certain deals that
Yes.
you can only get
Yeah,
with the
QR
QR
code
code from the
watching
game.
it
Okay, that's
on
pretty
Prime,
smart.
yeah.
Also, another thing I'm thinking of
but-
too is about the night game is that Friday night, traditionally people, no matter what, go out on Friday night. So
Yeah.
I would guess no matter what, Friday night viewership is down because most people go out on Friday night.
Yeah, you're
So
gonna
they
go
want to do it
party.
before the.
Yeah,
Before you're
that's
going
what
out.
I'm thinking. So they're
And
trying
think
to
about
find that sweet spot. They overthought this.
They actually thought it because think about it. In West Coast, it's going to be a noon game almost because it's 3 hours behind.
Right.
Yeah, but that
So,
tells
yeah.
me there'd be less people watching it though.
I don't think so. I think most people are usually done shopping by either noon or 3 is usually for
The
Black
early
Friday.
people, but unfortunately for
Yeah.
the NFL, Black Friday is like less than it's ever been. Like it's
Yeah.
not even a big thing anymore.
And it's Amazon, so Amazon only cares if you shop online.
If you're shopping, yeah.
So it's like, and the more viewers, the better advertising for Amazon. Therefore, it seems to me doing a night game will get you the most amount of viewers. Why they do Monday night game, Thursday night game, do a Friday night game.
Yeah, see, there's like counter arguments to what you're saying because, like SJ says, everyone's up early that day if you are shopping, so you'll get more viewers on the West Coast because of that, because those people are already up, ready to go,
Doing
or
their stuff,
ending
yeah.
their shopping or beginning their shopping, so they might be up watching. I don't know.
I don't. I know I'm doing.
Hey,
it
yeah,
again.
you're doing it
No,
again.
no,
We
but-
already
but
gave you an
the
answer, and
thing
you don't
is-
like
Your
it.
answer
and you keep
doesn't
going.
make sense
yeah.
to me.
The thing I don't understand with you when you argue is that other people will give, and then we'll give you an answer. So rather than you giving us more fuel for your argument, you just repeat your argument and go, I don't know.
Yeah, you give up.
Sounds like a scam to me.
Well,
Oh, no. No.
What was he
Yeah.
saying?
Sounds like fraud to me.
Sounds like fraud to me.
but you're saying like more people watch it earlier.
Yeah.
But then why do they do late games traditionally then?
Well, they're not on Friday night.
Yeah, they're usually not on
It's-
Friday
it's
nights.
on a
Yeah.
weeknight
It's like a
when you-
Thursday night game.
It's on a school night. On a
Because like
school
all the
night-
Thanksgiving games are either the 1 o'clock and then there's a
So
4
you-
o'clock and there's
But
an
what
8
about all
o'clock.
the people working? Like I know
Nobody's working on
there
Thanksgiving.
are not
it's
more.
not Thanksgiving. It's Friday.
No,
Yeah,
but
but the
there
Friday
aren't
after.
more.
yeah.
But
Hold
those
on
are
a
the
second.
retail workers.
Hold on. There's not more people working that day than aren't working that day.
More people are not working.
It's
that day.
not more people working that day. No matter what, it's less people working that day because it's still a holiday for a lot of people.
Yeah.
They are also saying that some of the ads cost less because of the time that it is playing.
That
Since
would
it's
make
not,
sense,
since it's not
too.
like prime
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, you could pay less.
Yeah.
Uh,
It all comes down to money, Tom.
Thank you, Samantha.
no, okay.
He's gonna keep arguing even though
But
you're
your
wrong.
argument's I mean, the ads cost less. Don't you want the ads to cost more?
No. If they're not
People
from
are
brand
buying
new.
it.
Remember,
from
it's the
their
first
perspective,
time.
if Amazon's calling the shots, right, and they're the ones purchasing the ads, then when they're buying ads, they get more ads for less money.
And it's on
because
Prime.
they-
It's on their network.
Yeah, they're controlling when it can
It's
be.
everything is them. So
Yeah.
exactly.
So they're saying let's do it here because this is when people shop, and let's do it here because we.
There's
can,
no competition
Yeah, I
against
got
it also. So everyone's coming to watch the game at that time. That's the
I'm
reason
not
why
saying it's. I'm just
the
saying
Jets
that's
are
going to
really struggle in this game because they looked bad last week. They're going to look bad against the Dolphins, even though they're at home
Well, they announced Boyle as a
as their
quarterback,
starter instead of Zach Wilson. Yeah.
Boyle.
which I put money on the Jets plus 10 because
I don't like that.
you don't. Do you want to
No.
make another bet?
Oh, he certainly did, man. Jump on. He certainly did.
What's the bet? I'll do the curly. I'll get a perm today.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the movie Seven?
Yes.
Or with
Are you gonna put my wife's head in a box? Don't do
Oh
that.
my God.
I would like to see
She's
you
not pregnant, so I don't got to
sit
worry
down
about
and
it.
eat 20 Whoppers.
You want to do gluttony?
I'm gonna push you over and start kicking your stomach.
It's
What is wrong
crazy
with
today.
you?
Which I never understood. Is like, they're
All
like,
the
eat
other
this
ones
spaghetti.
other ones are so creative in this movie.
Yeah.
So you get the guy to eat spaghetti, and then at the end you just push him over and kick him. That's what it was.
He ran.
Spoiler alert.
He ran out of he ran out of
Movie
creativity.
came out in '99.
Wasn't one of them like a knife blade on a dildo? Like, right? Like,
Yeah,
there was
yeah,
like all
there's
kinds of
like-
creativity.
All the others were like, we're gonna make this guy eat spaghetti, and then I'm gonna push him, kick him. I'm sorry. That's, we
Yeah,
got
that's
3
it.
minutes
We
in.
did it. We did it.
3 more minutes on why they're doing a football game on
Yeah.
Black Friday.
No, on Black Friday, just why not 3? Because it screws me up. Because like,
See, that's what it all comes
See,
down
it comes
to.
out of you.
That's what it all comes
it's
down
not
to.
because.
but are people happy? Why not?
Yes, I'm happy that it's 3 o'clock because after I'm done shopping, I'm gonna sit and watch the football game.
But what about
I
like
think I
6:30?
figured-
I'll wrap presents while I'm watching the football game. It's perfect.
I think I figured out that all of your arguments are just why isn't this
It's
the way,
affecting me.
Why isn't this the way I wanted to
But would
be?
it be better at 6:30?
no,
No, why not?
no. I think it's too late. Because
6:30?
okay, you've already been up early to go shopping.
But do you watch Monday Night Football?
Yeah.
Do you watch Thursday Night
Yeah.
Football? Is that too late?
It's a little late for me. I'd rather have it happen at like 6
Oh
or
my
7.
God, that's
Plus,
funny.
everybody's exhausted
Yeah.
after their families on Thanksgiving, and
We'll make it at 6 or 7. I'm just saying 3
It's
in the middle.
perfect for me at
He never
3. Leave it at 3.
He can't
Is
stop.
that,
just make it when I can watch it.
but is that,
Yeah,
but is that
a-holes.
perfect for everybody?
Record the game. You can watch it whenever you want. It's on Amazon Prime. You can watch it after the fact.
You can watch it on your phone.
Well, no
right?
one-
You can watch it anywhere in the world. Just hold your phone. You've got it right in your
Yeah.
pocket. You say it all the
He's
time.
gonna be out in the woods on a 4-wheeler.
No, I know, I understand
Oh, yeah,
that,
you
but I'm
are,
just saying,
yeah.
like,
That's why.
you're doing stuff during the day. You get home, you
Right,
get
put
Well,
it-
maybe
football.
you're doing stuff during the day. We're not.
No,
we're
yeah.
watching football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I got
Okay.
dogs. I can't travel. So I mean,
Don't ride your
about to
4-wheeler
get
that
one.
day. Cut it off.
I'll be stuck in the house with my dog soon.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, Samantha's getting a
Sam's
dog.
getting 3 dogs.
Oh,
And a
man.
cat.
Get them
And a
all.
cat.
Get his, all the
All
dogs.
of 'em.
Just hoarding
adopt
I'm
dogs.
just gonna smell like pee-pee every time I come in here.
Oh, gross.
Hey, Melissa in our chat room says, quote, but wouldn't it be better at 6 p.m.?
I mean, does the chat room all like it at 3? They're all
The chat room likes it at 3.
Everyone likes it at 3? All right.
I think more than anything, most people are trying to figure out why
you
does this
keep
bother
fighting
you
it.
so
We
much.
I
figured
just
it
trying
out.
to understand.
What if they
You
were
didn't
just-
figure it
You're
out.
too busy riding 4-wheelers at 3 o'clock. You're going to be on a 4-wheeler, right?
They could just be trying something
You're going to be in
different.
They
Crude
are
Forest.
trying
Yeah, it could
They
just
did
be.
say it's an experiment, so we'll see how it
Yeah.
goes this year.
Yeah.
It
They could
just,
change it to 6 next year for you. I don't know.
Yeah, they might.
Like, Tom, we heard you.
You
We're
might
going to change
get
it for
like
you.
your grand validation if they're like, look, we did it at 3. Nobody watched it.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to the standard.
no,
we're
but-
giving you the 8:30, and then everyone's like,
No,
possible. Yeah, it's possible.
You know, I understand they probably put a lot of market research into this,
Yeah.
and there has to be a reason for it. I just couldn't figure it out. You know, it's like, well, you know, just played a little bit later at the end of the day. It seemed like even the people that work, that maybe they get off.
What I like I like these morning games.
I
was
love
loving the 9 a.m.
I was hoping
Germany.
there would be another
You
one
do?
this week, but there's not.
I do like them in the morning. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun to sit there, and then it's like the whole family's there, and I'm like cooking breakfast. I got the football cranking on the TV.
Is this going to be like a tradition? Because I know like the Bears and the Lions always play on, and Cowboys play on Thanksgiving.
Well, I watch.
Are they going to make the Dolphins or the Jets be the Friday game always, or is it going to? It'd probably be the Jets because they're like
Yeah.
a big market team.
If it sticks, it
Yeah.
may not stick.
I hate that they always have Dallas and the
The Lions, yeah.
play every Thanksgiving. Like, why not
Switch it up.
Tradition.
No, I know, but just
Switch it up.
mix
Yeah.
some other teams in there.
Or
Why,
have
you
a
know?
have
And
a better
make it
schedule.
at 6 p.m.
The Thanksgiving
It's better
is
for
fine.
me then.
The Thanksgiving is, you know, like I dislike it because I'm always busy during the day, and
Right.
I'll just stand. But I understand the Thanksgiving one. It's just like Black Friday. It's
Is
like
it a problem that you can't gamble while you're on your 4-wheeler? Is that
no,
what it is?
no. It's
I mean, you could.
You could. I would love to see you gambling, making
Kind of hard.
parlays
Kind
on
of
your
hard.
4-wheeler.
Live betting.
I was just of all the other standalone games are played at night, and so I just thought that one would be played at night, and I was like, it's weird that they decided 3 o'clock at some arbitrary,
I
random
mean,
Arbitrary.
time.
They had reasons. They did research probably to figure
I've
out what would
always
work
hated
best.
I agree with you on the.
But-
it's always Detroit. It's always I switch it up. You know, give us something. Give
I like
me,
the tradition of it.
Yeah, but
I think
Yeah, but they don't. They shouldn't always.
they're not
have
going to
that.
sit in prime time because most of the time the Lions were bad for the last
but
30
don't-
years.
no, don't-
And at least they got one prime time game that everyone's watching.
Everybody should have the opportunity to shine on Thanksgiving.
No.
I feel like.
I disagree.
All right, I'm mad now.
Okay, all right. All right.
No,
We got it mad.
Some would say
again.
disgusting. And the NFL, like even for Thanksgiving, they follow the regular Sunday night schedule where 1 o'clock game, they have 4:30 game, then they have the night game, 8:30.
Okay,
Right?
yeah.
Like
All
that,
right.
and they're doing that on
Sometimes
Thanksgiving.
there's like a 9 a.m. game.
Yeah.
Well, and-
If they're
but-
playing
doesn't
in
like
London
those.
or
but
Germany.
the international ones, they're 9 a.m.
Did you
right?
see his face when I brought up the international
But-
games? He grimaced.
So then
Not
they're
America.
Not America. yeah.
They're like, all right, we're doing our first ever Black Friday game. I'm like, all right.
Yeah,
and then instead of picking 4:30 or 8:30, there's like, we'll do this one at 3.
because
I'm
it's
just like,
different.
why?
This is why you don't like it.
We'll just make it 4:30 then. And then it was like, all right, well, everybody, because people will forget that it's got 3 or some weird time. You've trained everybody to think 4:30 or 8:30 or international 9.
Well,
And
how do you
people-
do
they're
anything
like,
new?
Yeah, but there's
How do you do
it's
anything
never been on
new
a
if-
Friday.
Yeah.
Usually
He doesn't
high
want
school's on
to.
Fridays.
Stuck in his ways.
Okay.
Old man.
So
Well,
if-
who wants it? Who's like, you know what? 4:30 doesn't work. 3. It was like,
I wish I could answer it for you.
The Twitch chat, much to your argument to EJ, they say, "Do you think you're smarter than Amazon's marketing department?"
He does.
No,
He just wants to know.
I just want a valid reason that I haven't gotten from you guys yet.
We've given you 5. None of them
Gave him a lot.
are.
No, we gave him more than 5. I gave him 4.
They all I deemed unvalid. I deemed them disgusting.
Okay. He looked right at
All
me and said, "Your
reasons
answer disgusts you."
That I'm still
He's a dictator.
I'm tired.
You still got an
I'm
interview to do.
done.
I'm looking forward to
Oh
your
my
interview.
God.
I'm done.
I'm so glad we heard that. We beat him. We won.
I want him to scream. I was trying to get him to scream today. That's what I was trying to make him mad.
I've never seen you guys fight like that.
I'm mad at that burger thing you made me eat. I'm mad at everything. I'm mad at your dolphin shirt.
My dolphin shirt.
It looks stupid.
That was just being mean.
You
this is
can't
great.
beat me with logic. You got to add him and an arrogance.
I'm gonna
Oh,
throw
my
up.
God.
Have you been smoking the Deltona Kona?
Where is that
wish.
sign?
He's mad at that too.
Oh, it's up there. That's awesome.
Put it up there. It's so terrible.
It's halfway covered though. That's the only
stupidest
problem.
thing we ever bought.
$50. What is wrong with you? You can't argue anything.
What's wrong with them?
me.
They charged me
That
for
the
it.
fact that you paid for that.
Okay.
You give Seth money.
What? You got anything to plug? You got nothing.
No.
meet EJ at the Burger King parking lot.
Everyone look at my wife's decorations at
Hey.
Disney
Oh.
Springs.
What does that mean?
Don't mess them up. I spent half the day at Hollywood Studios on Saturday, and she was fixing the decorations as we walked through the park. I'm like, "What are you doing? You're off the clock."
No, they're gonna think she's just a guest and kick her
They,
out.
they did. One of the employees go, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "She works here. She's
tidying
crazy. Leave her alone."
Tidying up.
All right. Let's
She's
take
asleep right now.
let's take
I'll
a
get away
break,
with it.
and we will be right back.
Awesome. Oh my God. You guys are crazy today. That's funny. All right, that is. What is that?
That is Tuesday 1 and 2.
I misspelled menorah in the chat room yesterday.
The what?
I misspelled menorah in the chat room yesterday because I thought it looked like a bad menorah.
All right. We got 15 minutes to figure out.
Ginger Minj.
And since it's ACT, if it only goes 20, we'll just cut at 20 and then do voicemail after.
Yeah,
so.
totally fine.
Oh man. Do you mind if I hang out?
Yeah.
You're
Okay,
good,
just want
man.
to make sure because I want to take a picture with Ginger Minj because
Yeah.
I want to give my wife a hard time that I got to meet him or her.
Leave your wife
better-
alone.
She's sleeping. She can't do anything.
They want to know what your Pokemon bracelet is.
It's my Pokemon Plus Plus. That's what it is. It helps me catch Pokemon when I'm doing nothing.
Tom, SJ says that the guy that sold you the Deltona Kona sells them for $15 at the flea market.
God damn it.
That's the head of the business department
Maybe
here.
he said 15 and you thought 50.
Did you tip him $35?
No. What'd you give him? 50 cash, right?
Yeah.
And it was the lady. She's the one that said 50. And it was 50.
That bitch.
Yeah, because you were standing next to
Yeah.
me. She did say
yeah,
50,
you
not
weren't.
15.
No, dude, you weren't even that
She
drunk.
wouldn't-
You
she-
were just, no. You
Dude,
weren't.
I could do that.
You weren't that drunk.
No, he really wasn't. But it was like, it was like one of those things where he was
was drunk,
coherent.
though.
All this,
He was
all this is
buzzed,
a
but he
router.
wasn't
You
like,
could do that.
You weren't like barfing in a trash can.
Well, it's Daniel's fault. Daniel called me over. He's like, Deltona Kona, you
it's
should
my
buy
fault.
this.
It is my fault.
And then I was like, all
Look,
right,
I'll
we'll
own
buy
it. I'll own it 100%.
Oh,
I
yeah.
called him
Dude,
over.
bullying me,
Yeah.
and then I
Well,
was
I
like,
wasn't
oh,
bullying you.
I
I thought it would be funny.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, let's talk to this old man, and that I like fucking with old people that are
Oh,
like,
yeah.
because that guy, old man, was chirping at me about how. I had a lot of our vendors. I'm not going to name any names. I had some of them go like, "Right, they're getting their beer. It's slow. We're not selling enough shit." And it's like, shut the fuck up.
That happens all the time. It happens at the conventions. Danielle
I'm
had
like,
it at the
"God,
conventions too. I'm like,
I don't control what people buy from you. I want you to have the
Yeah.
best day ever. My intention is to
know
help
your
you."
audience. Be like Matt Rife. Know who your audience is.
Also, if someone if someone's selling
Idiot.
something that they made, a craft or an art,
Yeah.
and then you ask them how much money it is, and then you are shocked. It's an insult to them. Right? You're like, $50.
Well, you probably shouldn't react that way, but
Yeah,
You
he
should.
did a
But
little
you're-
bit. He did a little
But
bit.
you're
Yeah.
saying that the shit they made isn't
This
worth
ain't
$50.
worth $50.
Yeah, it's
this hunk of shit.
yeah. It's accidental dickhead.
The fact that you could like, there's a template you could do that with a router. It's so easy. My dad used to do this all the time.
yeah,
Except for the only thing he couldn't do was the weed leaf, but I think he could do a better weed
Yeah,
leaf.
that's a struggle right there. That's a struggle leaf.
someone did, what I assume, hand paint that thing too. So that's
No.
something. Well, I mean, it's not painted by a
You
machine.
put some tape on it and just you hand paint it, but it's you could pour the paint in there easily.
I think it's just spray paint.
Yeah, it is spray paint.
Yeah.
By hand.
Spray paint by hand.
It's
yeah.
hand sprayed.
Oh my god. Daniel's pooping out that burger right now.
Oh no. I hope not.
Yep.
Ginger
Right before
Minj is
Ginger
gonna
Minj
run
come
into
in.
the bathroom. Oh no.
And she was in Hocus Pocus too, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And Dumplin'. Did you watch Dumplin'? Probably not.
No.
No.
I barely remember Hocus Pocus 2.
I know.
I remember they were writing the like
I only watched it the one time last year, and
yeah.
I probably should have watched it again this year. You know when Trav and I were revisiting the I Know What You Did Last Summer series?
Really?
Yeah. He couldn't.
What are you waiting for? That's the only scene I remember the most from
Yeah.
that movie.
That was the second one, right?
Was it the second one or the first
Where
one?
she's in the rain, in the hurricane, in the Bahamas.
No. This is the one she's in the middle of the street, and that was the first one she went out on the street and did that.
Trav couldn't remember the second one.
Second one, they were during the hurricane. Yeah, they
Yeah.
were on the island.
And
yeah.
Jack Black is pretending to be
The killer or something like
Bohemian
that? Yeah.
with dreadlocks and a fake Jamaican accent in the Bahamas.
Oh, yeah.
What movie is that?
I still know what you did last summer.
yeah.
And then I did not realize that they came out with I'll always know
Yeah,
what you
there's a
did
third.
last summer.
I think there's a fourth one, isn't there,
which
too?
we just started last night, and man, is it bad. 2006.
It's like the Wrong Turn series. There was the one good one with
I
Eliza
don't think I ever
Dushku.
saw those.
It was the like hillbilly mutants that were
Hillbilly
chasing
Jim?
after Elisha Hush, the face
Dushku,
from
yeah.
from Buffy. She was in it. That's the only reason why I went and saw it. And then they got really bad after that.
I think I'm very upset. Remember when I bought that?
Jennifer Love Hewitt. Yeah.
Do you remember my velvet Braves hat that I got? And I used the promo code last year for Black Friday, and I got it for $33.
Mhm.
I think I told you about that.
Mm-hmm.
They put out a new one this year, and it's burgundy velvet with like a light yellow Atlanta. And I put in the code, and I got it for $33. They canceled my shit. Now when I go in there, the code doesn't work anymore. Those motherfuckers figured it out and shut my shit down. They deleted
They knew
my,
you were scamming.
I said it to
Yeah.
Andrea. They deleted. They're like, sorry. And then they said this. They said, sorry, your order has been canceled due to, quote, unforeseen circumstances. What does that mean?
Yeah, you got it over on us,
What
and
does that
we're
mean?
cutting it off.
They, I guess they saw the code and then they didn't realize it was still
Oh, man,
out.
I was telling so many people. I was like, you could get the $60 hat for $33. They didn't like that very much. Fuck. It's a cool looking hat, too. They call me Dr. Love.
Who's texting me?
So you're going to have to move.
Yeah, I'll sit over there.
Yep. Sorry.
Oh, no,
I wonder if
fine.
I can get a discount from Judy because
Oh.
Patsy's a little expensive.
There's a service.
yeah.
Service
Talk
outage.
to Judy. Yeah, shoot her an email.
There's a service outage in my area. That's what it is.
Of your
Spectrum.
Spectrum?
Yeah.
Can I bring my doggy in every day if I get one?
I'm okay with it.
It's my emotional support dog.
I'll give you the collar and leash that is Dansby's that Andrea won't let me
Just
use.
renaming Dansby.
Well, the collar and leash don't have I have a little ID card for him. You got enough, you got all your four-wheelers ready to go? The boys got a new one, right? They'll be riding a better bike this year.
I got Tommy a new one, yeah. But we
That'll be awesome.
we went a couple months ago.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. You already tried it. Is it way different?
It's just a
Anything?
90. It's bigger.
But are there any like you still have to shift or
No, you don't. It's
Automatic.
Yeah, it's centrifugal clutch.
Oh, that's
so,
cool. So they do it like a scooter.
Centrifugal.
So that there's no
Interesting.
gears.
Are there any on what size do you get to where you get gears, or is that a
It used
thing
to
of the
be
past?
90. Like my niece has a 90 with gears. But now they make them without gears
Interesting.
because kids are getting soft.
Yeah, you can't
Yeah,
shift.
I
I remember
And they don't
shifting
like
of
that.
3-wheelers back in the day, and you have to up or down.
my mini bike had gears. That's interesting. I always wondered the opposite of that. Is I always wondered why they didn't put centrifugal in things. There's got to be a reason. I mean, manual. I'm sure if you were like really trying to go. I mean, obviously being able to change your own gears and knowing your own gear ratios, I guess, is a better way to drive. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's there's like there's big adult size Polaris
That still have it.
That have centrifugal
Makes
clutch and
sense.
no gears and
For grandpas, just
and-
want to cruise.
yeah. I mean, if you're just trail riding around,
Yeah,
you want the easiest. You
yeah,
know,
you want to just
if you're doing serious mudding or climbing or something,
you
then
need
you
the
need
torque.
gears.
Yeah.
But
That's cool. It's about time they started doing that. I always wondered why they didn't do that. Because my scooter's is twist and fart. You just get on it and go.
yeah. That's what
It's awesome.
my dad's Polaris 4-wheeler. We have it at the cabin. We just use it there.
well, I imagine
Use it for the farm.
it's all going to be electric eventually anyway, and then there'll be no gears.
I've seen these new bikes that I don't know who makes them, but I thought they were pretty cool. They're kind of like the Jackery batteries, where it's like you just like if you were riding all day, you'd come back and then you just pop your battery out, take another one from your camper, pop it in, and you're off.
The Suron is like that.
Yeah, it's badass. Like you have this little metal. Like I have it on my scooter actually. My scooter has it. So you slide it in and connect it, and you're
Yeah.
good to go. It's pretty neat. You can have the other one on the charger while you're waiting for it. I think mostly on this we're going to talk about the book for the most part.
I promise I won't embarrass you guys. Me and Ginger Minj.
You're already embarrassing it.
Smells like Burger King in here.
Yeah, the whole. I mean, there's chicken fries everywhere. I mean, what's there to not be embarrassed about?
Why are there 5 fruit punches up there?
Yeah, it looks like we have diabetes.
EJ,
Yes, sir.
Oh no.
Why'd you get us 5 fruit punches?
I didn't know what to get you guys because I know
Oh.
you guys don't drink. They didn't have mellow yellow, not mellow yellow. What's the
Mellow
one?
yellow. We've
Mountain
never
Dew.
had
It's the
mellow
Mountain
yellow.
Dew, but it's mellow yellow because that's what they
Or
have.
now, what is it?
Starry.
Surge.
Or
Starry.
No, they had
Starry
no.
Night.
They did have Surge. That's what I was gonna get you guys, but
Surge.
But we
Then
know
it was out.
You know we have a refrigerator.
I know you
just-
do.
You just
but
get
it came.
the food.
It came
You
with
got
the free
meals.
drinks.
Oh.
Yeah,
You got the combo.
I'm not gonna like not take something. So
We're just gonna pour that in the sink.
Yeah.
I'll take it with me. That's why I didn't put ice in them.
Yeah, take it with you. I'll get
What are you-
enjoyment out of that.
Are you gonna drink some
I need
fruit
4
punch?
fruit
Yeah.
punches,
Yeah.
no ice.
That's what Chungus picked.
No,
That's what Chungus did.
I went in and I had to fill my own drinks, so I did it without that. That's
Hey,
why.
You can't drink fruit punch, EJ. You realize
you
this.
can.
No,
You
I'm
need
saying-
to
It's
drink.
better than-
You need to drink all 5.
I've been
of them.
drinking zero sugar
Hold
everything.
on, I'm gonna put the
lately.
camera on.
Yeah,
him.
yeah. Well,
Look at
that's-
the. Oh, there's only 3 left. Where are the 2 of the fruit
I
punches?
drank 2 of them.
You drank 2 fruit
Holy
punch?
Smoke!
This is the second one.
Oh my God!
DJ,
You're the
get
whale.
that much.
You're the
Come
whale.
on, you stop that.
You're the whale.
I'm not
You-
doing that. Stop. Don't
You
make me
drank-
fucking feel
oh
bad
my
about
God.
this.
You drank
I'm-
2 fruit punches?
I'm not gonna fucking blow up like a
Chungus
balloon. Don't you
Pukamungus
fucking
only
do this
drank
to me.
1.
What? EJ, there's so much sugar in there.
You can't
I
drink
know
that.
There's a lot of
You're
sugar.
in your
I
40s
haven't had
now.
any
You
sugar
should-
lately.
Look at how gray your hair's
Stop
turning.
it.
all
You
of a
guys are
sudden.
fucking making me gonna freak out. Don't do this.
Oh, why are you gonna freak out? You drink it.
Yeah, that's a lot of sugar.
We're just
dude.
telling you,
Yeah.
trying to save your life.
I'm gonna die
Gave up
anyways. Who cares?
Slurpees for
I
fruit
know.
punch.
All I did is I put the
I haven't had
camera
anything
out
bad
and
in
look.
a while. This is
look
like
at
my
that.
cheat day. Okay,
Sam,
leave me
look at
alone.
that. Every day's your cheat day. And look at that. It's 3. Look at those 3 fruit punches sitting there.
You
I
can't
think-
drink
I'll
that
give them
sugar
to the
water.
kids. Who cares?
You kids, you need to set a good example for your kids.
Yeah. Oh, we know you're lying because you love it so much. You drink 2 of them.
Yeah,
I drank 1.5.
Hey, hold on a second.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
Hot
it's like,
fruit
yeah.
punch.
Okay, earlier Tom was, some would say, disgusted with how you're acting. Now I'm disgusted in how you're acting. You just drank 2 full fruit punches in
No
front of
ice.
us, and then you said, I didn't know what to get you. I got you fruit punches, and the only reason you would get us
'Cause
fruit
you
punches
like
is so
fruit
you
punches.
can drink
I
them.
knew you guys didn't
Sam
drink anything.
knew. Sam knew.
None of us drink fruit punch.
Well, you guys don't drink. Okay, it
you
was
bought
either full
5
fat Coke
fruit-
That's fine.
or see. I don't know what you guys were gonna get, so I
You-
did my best.
Dude, you
I did
coulda
my
gone
best. So I
Diet
do
Coke.
something
You
nice,
coulda
and this is
gone-
how I get treated.
You
This is
coulda gone-
bullshit.
You could have gone Diet
We
Coke.
didn't ask for this.
Yeah, we didn't ask for this.
we
You could have
didn't
gone
ask,
Diet
but
Coke.
I did appreciate
But
it.
he didn't. He didn't do Diet
Chicken
Coke.
fries.
He went and he goes, "Oh,
I don't like Diet Coke.
He's like, "I'll just get fruit punch because they won't drink
And
it."
then I'll have 4.
And then,
Yeah,
and then,
four.
and then
Like
while
I'm
and then while I'm
nefarious with
sitting
this.
here creeping out Ginger Minj, I'll drink 5 fruit punches.
Yeah, I had to leave
Because there's
you're gonna make me
nothing
feel bad about
creepier
this.
when we have a legendary, world-famous drag queen in here than you sitting on the couch drinking 5 fucking fruit
And
punches.
here's how we know that must be the truth is because there's no ice in them.
Yeah.
So you knew we weren't going to drink them, or if you thought
Yep.
we were, there was any
So they
sort
wouldn't get watered down because it would
Yeah,
ruin the integrity
yeah.
of the fruit punch. Straight busted.
Yeah, which you already said. You're like, I didn't put ice in them, so I
Yeah.
can take them all for myself.
You sound like Arnold. I did put ice in there so I
to
can take them
work.
all for myself.
I was
Get
busy
to
doing
work.
that, and I forgot to put ice in like 3 of them. So I was like, ah, shit. I just didn't do the
No,
last
no,
two.
no.
That's
You
the truth.
said
I started because it
You
would
put-
reset.
you
Every
put
time
ice in
I
yours.
put the lid on,
Yeah.
it would
Put ice
reset.
in his, and then he's like the
So
other
it's nice
4.
and cold, yeah.
I'll just
yeah.
keep dumping into my eye.
yeah.
I've done nothing to you guys.
Yeah.
I've only been nice to you today,
That's what he
and
thought.
this is what I get.
That's what he
If
thought.
there was only sugar in the ice, you'd put it in. But if you put that
Yeah.
pesky water in there,
Yeah, yeah.
waters down the sugar.
I'm gonna spit that out.
Yes, fruit punch makes me more buoyant in the pool.
You think ice is clear vegetables? All right, we had to be said.
Yeah, we had to get
figured
it out.
I'm gonna put the lobby camera. Look at that, 3 fruit punches sitting there sad. Look at those 3 fruit punches sitting
Now
there.
I'm gonna throw away. It'd be wasteful.
You're
which
not
is
gonna
make
throw
me
them
bad.
away. That's like daring you to that's like throw away your own money. You can't do it. I want to taste the fruit punch though. I kind of want to dance with
Go
the fruit
for
punch.
Try it.
What kind is it? Is it Hawaiian?
Is it Fruitopia?
It's
What do you got?
high C.
Oh no. I
High
can't.
C.
I can't mess with
Yeah,
high C.
it's
What am
good.
I?
It has vitamin
What am I,
C in
4
it.
years old?
It's healthy because it has vitamin C in it.
Yeah, that.
Flashin' fruit punch.
Flashing.
Yeah.
Flashing and splashing.
If vitamin C was the antidote for diabetes, then you'd have a point. But it doesn't do anything.
Do you guys
In case you
remember?
were getting scurvy.
Do you guys remember Vitamin C, the singer
Yes.
with the orange hair?
Yeah.
Graduation song?
Yeah, she did
Yes.
graduation song. Do you remember that
It
song?
was big
What's
in
the
like what,
graduation
99?
song?
Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
We remember all the times we
Yeah.
What happened to Vitamin C?
spent together. I don't know.
That was on
Is
every
she problematic?
She was
clip
like,
montage.
She was
That's
like
not
kind
just
of
my
hot,
question from
right?
now on.
Wasn't she kind of hot like Vitamin C?
Yeah.
She was pretty.
She was okay. Very Gwyneth Paltrow-esque.
Yeah, she kind of
Yeah.
had like Here we go. Here's a little Vitamin C.
What
Has
did
she
her-
ever posed
What did
nude?
her other music sound like? Because it's the only
She
song.
only had
that-
like one other hit. I can't even. Oh, it was Smile, right?
Smile,
Put a
yeah.
smile on your face. Very poppy.
God, this played at our graduation
Yeah,
in high school. Yeah.
Mine was my 8th grade
Wait,
graduation.
this is the Coca-Cola song, right? Put a smile on your face.
Make the world a better
I think this is a Coca-Cola song, so she probably just sold this and said, bye.
Did another band sample this?
Yeah, I think so.
What other band sampled this? Like
Pepper. It sounds like Pepper a little bit.
As soon as you started playing that, I was like, wait a minute, this sounds like
a lot of these bands. You're touching on an
Sugar
area
Ray or
in
something.
music that like.
You were thinking of I Just Want to Fly. It's similar. I
yeah,
can hear it.
it's got the same.
it sounds
Well, that
exactly
was-
like I Just Want to Fly.
Well, no, it's just the same beat.
Okay.
You know, it's like a lot of songs kind of
It's a
sounded
4-chord
like
song.
this. Butterfly by Crazy Town had
Yeah.
that same kind of little ride. You know, like like that sort of like a. I don't know what you even call that. It's almost like you're putting a hip hop beat to pop music. But those are the only 2 songs I have for Vitamin C.
I went down a Drumeo hold. Have you seen that?
Drumeo?
Yeah, it's like for drummers, and they were having they had Chad Smith from Red Hot Chili Peppers on there, and they had a bunch of like drummers, and they would hear a song that they supposedly never heard before, and they took the drums out of it, and they would play their kind of drums in it. It was it was really fun to watch.
It's not. Everybody seems so like amazed that Chad can do that, but I'm a drummer, and if you give me a piece
figured
of
you
music,
could do it too. Yeah,
I'm not saying I can do it as good as him. That's not what I'm saying.
yeah,
but I can
I think
sit
you
down
could.
and you can give me a piece of music, and I can
add a tempo.
and I
to-
can think about like what I think the repetitive elements are going to be,
Yeah.
and I can anticipate a chorus and I can anticipate a verse. Yeah, I can do the same thing. It's not hard for Chad Smith doing that's the easiest thing he's done all year
Yeah.
by far.
Vitamin C is now the music executive for Netflix.
Okay,
All
Wow,
that
good
makes
for
sense.
her.
That makes sense.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a big time thing.
Look
right
at
there,
that.
Because
yeah.
after performing her career slowed down, her name is Colleen. Colleen started a production company called VCR in 2006, where she worked with such stars as Selena Gomez and Demi Lovato. In 2012, Colleen became Nickelodeon's vice president of music before landing at Netflix in 2019.
Wow.
What does Netflix do with music? Is it just like with their movies, or does
If
Netflix
there's a
have-
particular show and it's a musical, I work on casting the composer and the music supervisor and work with the internal creative teams and the external creative teams on original songs and how the written word ends up being executed on the music side.
Huh.
So anything that's like a Netflix production, I guess she has a hand in all the music scores. That's kind of cool. Holy shit, who knew?
I mean that's a pretty safe bet. You know what she reminds me of? Danica.
Patrick.
No, or was it Danica? The lady that played Winnie Cooper on Wonder Years. Like these are people that are like they dip
Marilyn Manson?
can suck his own dick.
Wasn't
Yeah.
it the ribs?
Yeah, did you know Paul
Nazi memorabilia?
from the Wonder Years had his ribs removed so he could suck his own Nazi dick?
Oh my
That's what I heard. That's what I heard. But yeah, like there are certain people that like Mayim Bialik.
Danica
Mayim
McKellar.
Bialik. She's another one of these people that they can dip their toe into entertainment, but they're super smart and they can do other things. That's what the point
Yeah,
I'm trying to
yeah.
make.
You know, if you
I think Tom Brady's one of those guys. He just hasn't done his other thing yet, but he will. He'll do it. I think he will.
What do you think his other thing's going to be?
I thought it was going to be the sportscasting thing, but I don't know if he's going to be that good at it. There's people
Wasn't
that
he supposed to start?
He was supposed to start this year,
he
wasn't
was
he?
already supposed to. He was supposed to be this year.
Yeah.
He signed that. Was it Fox that paid
Yeah,
that
Fox
contract?
bought
Yeah.
was it 10 years? They would like give him $100 million or something like that?
But I think it was up to him to when he started.
I think
something
so,
like that.
yeah.
Like
They
Or
just
did
gave
he
him
get-
like a floating contract.
Or was he afraid
something.
of what happened with Peyton? Peyton did so well with his brother cast.
his Manning cast.
Yeah, the Manning cast, yeah.
That show annoys me now. I can watch the beginning of it, and then they go to introduce their guests, and then I just go to the regular game.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It's cool.
I like it. I like their breakdown of stuff.
I like having that many options for football. I like having like the.
Yeah.
3 p.m.
I do like a.
Games
I like,
on a Friday?
I like a 3 p.m.
I love Samantha stir the
I
pot.
almost turned to Samantha and said, "What
Presto
the fuck
trip."
are you doing?" I'm like, the fuck.
I wonder.
I like that you're so mad about that.
I know.
No,
I'm
I
not
think
about-
it's-
I'm just. I'm wondering what the rationale behind it is.
We tried to give you
There's a
some
reason.
options.
Yeah.
There's definitely a
He
reason.
didn't like our options.
Yeah.
No.
We got to keep trying though. We'll keep trying
We'll
for you,
keep
buddy.
going.
the 3 p.m. is whenever with 12. That's another thing. And
He's
the
doing
West
it.
Coast.
He's doing it again.
West Coast would be 9 a.m.
You're not gonna be.
Yeah, if it's 12.
You're done with shopping at noon. Like no one's done with shopping at noon. for the
see,
most part.
I would disagree with you.
If you're
and
doing a
here's
6
why.
a.m.
Yeah, here's
opening,
why.
you're done by
Majority.
noon. That's 6 hours.
There's only one person I know that ever did this consistently, and it was Tori, Jimmy's wife. Would get up at like 3 a.m. to make the 5 a.m.
Yeah.
things, and she was done by 11 o'clock.
But that's assuming that Amazon wants you to go to stores. They want you to
To
shop
use
online.
them. No, I know,
you know.
but
So it's
But
like
they still do like Cyber Monday and small things Saturday or whatever.
small things that
It's Small Business Saturday, wasn't it? Isn't it that?
Yeah.
Or is it Sunday?
why
I
do
can't
they give
remember
us
which one
Saturday?
It was Saturday.
I don't. Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey.
Good to see you.
No.
Oh, so sorry.
I know, it all looks the same out here. All right. You want to see which doggy I'm getting?
I have one.
No, I think we're gonna get Patsy.
Come on, make yourselves at home.
She's so
Do you guys need
cute.
anything? Like a? Do we have water or?
Water would be great.
Yeah.
Do we have
Mine?
water?
Thank you, T.
For my
I'll get
own
everything
menthol
set.
stylings.
This is my wife's. If you wouldn't mind signing it at
Of
some
course.
point, like she thinks I'm so stupid. She put out. I'll show the listeners. We're live on Twitch and.
Well, she has to remind you.
Look at how dumb my wife thinks I am. That's how stupid I am. Like she's like, yeah, I want you to sign that.
And it's to my name.
Yeah. Hey, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, that wasn't even for me. It was like, please sign for me, and not even for my husband. Congrats. How you been?
I've been amazing.
Awesome. Well, we're on YouTube and Twitch. I'd like to reiterate that 100 times just in case people are listening in the background. Oh my goodness.
Twitch.
Well, thanks for taking
The studio
time to be
smells
on.
infinitely better now.
Yeah, it does.
It drowned out the
Before-
Burger King.
Before you got here, we had been gifted Burger King.
Uh-huh.
And
Oh,
we haven't had Burger King in
Years.
I haven't had a Whopper since the last time you and I had a Whopper, which was like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
You're not going to have it for long.
It's happening. But it was so good. It was so good. It was delicious.
It is delicious.
It's delicious. It's like I told EJ, I said, I can't lie. I'm going to turn the nest down just a bit because I'm going to get hot here.
We do have a hot fruit punch if anybody would like
Hot fruit.
punch.
There we go. It's still pretty cool. Okay, that'll be better. The nest is motion activated. Who invented that? And then let's put it in the other room. All right, Mr. Van, let's check our cameras and make sure everybody looks pretty. Namely, not me. I look old. Okay, got that ready to go. I got my questions. All right, would you like to start, my friend?
Sure.
Here we go. In 3. Do you want headphones?
Nah.
Okay,
All right.
good. I like that. All right, here we go. 3, 2.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. We have a guest that's been in here before.
Before, but, this is probably...
It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a minute, but, I would say one of our most talented guests. Let's see if off the top of my brain, if I can get, some of this correct, okay? 3 albums, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we got 3 albums.
Yep.
Multiple appearances on mega TV shows that have cult followings unlike any other show. We're talking RuPaul Drag Race, Drag Race All-Stars. Let's see, what else am I missing here?
Comedy special out on Prime right now.
Brand new. Yeah, you can go watch that.
In a Disney film.
Disney
Classic.
film, yeah. We can talk about the little Hocus Pocus 2. We can talk about that.
Just got back from Mexico on
World
RuPaul's
Tour.
World
Yeah,
Tour.
not even, hours ago.
Yeah.
Literally just landed. And now, and I've
Author.
always wanted to do this, our next guest is the author of the Southern Fried Sass, A Queen's Guide to Cooking, Decorating, and Living Just a Little Extra. Ladies and gentlemen, on our couch, Ginger Ben.
Oh, and the crowd goes mild. I love it.
Well, we don't do the piped in, fake applause.
No, well,
we
why would you?
Tom doesn't like any camaraderie.
Yeah. He just sits, he's like, all right, get
We
to
say
work.
the words, then we go.
He's like, get to work.
I only want what I earn.
Let's talk about the book. Let's just start there.
Yeah.
Why would someone as busy as you, because we've been trying to talk to you and we know how busy you are,
know.
but why would somebody as busy as you write a book? And is this really 3-4 years in the making? Is that what?
Well, I mean, technically, I have been doing it for the last 5 years.
Nice.
But I've really been working on it hardcore for the last 2.5. About 2.5 years ago, I just my friend was like, you need to write a book. You keep telling me these stories. You keep cooking for me. You need to go and write all this down so people can see it. And I was like, well, I don't know. I figured my life story would be told, but I thought it would be on an episode of Jerry Springer, a Lifetime movie of the week.
Sure.
But then Simon & Schuster came knocking on the door, and they said, hey, we're interested in this. Can you do it? And I was like, of course. If I could do anything, I could talk about myself. Until it came time to write the book. And then I was like, oh, I don't know where to start. I was like, I feel like I'm so close to the subject matter. I don't know what's superfluous, what nobody cares about, or
Sure.
what people really are going to like connect with.
Well,
Yeah, and you're
let's talk about
funny,
that.
and like, how much funny do you put in, or how much
Yeah.
serious do you put in?
Well, see, that was the hard part right
Yeah.
there, was because, I learned from Drag Race where, people, I've been on 3 seasons of that show. I've been
Yeah.
on more episodes than RuPaul at this point, I'm sure. And people get little bits and pieces of the story, so they think that they know you. But I was like, you really only kind of get the highlights, and I wanted to do something that connected the dots. But a lot of the time, the connectors are the trauma. It's like that trauma bonding and that shared experience of bad things that have happened in life. But I've always had the philosophy that if you laugh at it, you won't cry about it. So it was trying to find a good balance of telling those stories in a way that resonates with people,
Yeah.
that they can really connect with, but also doing it completely on brand for me, which is just stupid and funny.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you said something in one of the interviews we were watching around the studio today, where you were talking about how when you would approach let's just say the outline of the book, much like your drag persona, it's not one lane. It's not
No.
one facet. It's not that you just, hey, look at the artistry, look at the makeup, look at the presentation. It's the persona, the glamour toe, the whole, it's all of the different.
Yeah.
And you get a little more leeway, right, to do wilder maybe thing. I mean, you're you're multifaceted is what I'm trying to say in a horror. I'm not doing a very good job of doing that.
Like a plastic rhinestone rolling around the Joann's fabric parking lot.
Hey, I spend most of my time there. I have an 8-year-old daughter. I am
Well,
a Joanne man.
I love it. They match coupons,
Oh, yeah.
which is delightful.
Yeah, they absolutely do. They'll just go through at Joanne now. If you just hold your phone up, the lady will just shoot whatever barcode you have, and they don't even
It doesn't
care.
matter. She's
Yeah.
like, oh, it's Barnes & Noble. Sure.
They're just
Why
like,
not?
let's try. You know.
I think that sometimes, to my detriment on RuPaul's Drag Race, I don't have like a neat little box that you could put me in. You can't say, oh, she definitely does this, or she's that, or blah,
Right.
blah, 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 blah. I've always kind of had my hand in a little bit of everything. So while that didn't serve me on Drag Race, outside of it, it's really been great because I can do a comedy special. I can write a book. I can host a tour all across UK, Europe, Ireland, Mexico, all that. And I can come home and cook dinner.
That's awesome.
Which is the best part. But when I was writing the book, I mean, at first it was just supposed to be a straightforward memoir.
Okay.
And I found it really difficult to do because I didn't know what the angle was or what my in was. And then after my grandmother passed away, like, the only thing that she had of any substance was her recipe box. And
Yes.
she coveted that. Everybody wanted it, but she left it to me. And being the good Christian woman that I am, I decided to share it with the family. So my aunt, my sister, my mom were all sitting around going through and divvying them up.
Wow.
And then realizing that there's a story attached to every recipe. And if there's 200 recipes in the box, I only knew the stories for about half of them. So I'm hearing stuff from these recipes I've never even tried from the 40s and the 50s,
Yeah.
learning more about my grandmother, learning more about all these people in my family. And I went, that's it. Like, that's the angle, because food is so universal.
Yeah.
And I've learned that, like, traveling the world, even when you can't communicate with somebody verbally,
Sure.
you can learn so much about them and their culture by what they share with you food-wise.
Yeah. Like sitting down, breaking bread with people is so intimate and such a.
It brings people together.
Yeah.
It does, and of course you're referencing your grandma Shirley Temple,
Yes.
not the Shirley Temple, but to you a more important version, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and she and you described her as, and I heard this in one interview, and I was like, wow, that is so powerful. You said she's your soulmate.
She is my soulmate.
That's so cool.
I think
She
that
protected you and was
She
important,
is-
like your guardian angel.
Yeah,
almost.
she was always the type of savior that she wouldn't swoop in and save you,
Sure.
but she would give you the tools and the knowledge to save yourself, which in the moments growing up, I was like, nah, I just kind of wish you would shut this down.
Yeah,
I kind of
this
wish
is
you
scary.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
swoop me
Help,
away.
help.
But then as I got older and kind of went out there in the world
She's
on my
making you
own,
strong.
I realized, oh, I know exactly how to handle you. I know exactly how to handle this conversation or this
That's awesome.
situation. And writing this book, even though it's about my life, it's such a love letter to my grandmother
That's
and
awesome.
to Central Florida. I mean, even the traumatic things I have learned so much from that I feel like it's made me such an interesting person, if not a better one.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's so cool.
When I heard the story about your grandma's recipes and having a story attached to them, I thought, was that something that a lot of people did? Was that like a thing that people attached stories
Well,
to recipes, or is it just unique to your grandma?
No, it's unique to any Southern woman.
I was gonna say
Okay, is this-
right now. I'll throw this out there. Right now, I am trying to find. My mom passed away about 4 years ago, and I am trying to find her key lime pie recipe. I too was left the little wooden box with 3 elephants etched on the front of it. I said, I still have it. It's falling apart. It's a little wooden box with all of her recipes, all handwritten. Some from the 60s, 70s, 80s. I mean, it's crazy. But the key lime pie one's missing. I have brown sugar pie. I got all the other stuff that my dad liked, country style steak. I got all that stuff in there. All from Virginia, all super Southern. Can't find key lime pie. And it's a specific type of key lime pie. And I can't find it.
Well, what you have to do is you have to go to a family function and figure out who brought the key lime pie.
There you go. Yeah.
And
Did you
then
have to
shake them
backwards-
down at the door.
Did you have to backwards engineer anything or try to I think what was the hardest recipe, I guess?
The hardest recipe wasn't
To
even my
duplicate it.
grandmother's.
Okay.
It was my grandfather's barbecue sauce. There's a whole story about it in the book. I mean, it's really kind of a through line.
You guys are like a barbecue family, right?
We are. We're barbecue snobs. I do too.
I'm a vinegar guy. I'm a pork and vinegar
Me
sauce
too.
guy. Yeah.
I really like that. But I mean, there's a type of barbecue for everybody. I think, to me, barbecue is so like drag in the sense that you take what you've got and you kind of make something delicious. And then if it's not pretty enough, you just keep saucing it until it appeals to everybody.
That's it. You know what?
Barbecue sauce
Good
is just the
analogy.
glitter of the food world. You
I
know?
like that.
Yeah,
Um,
you're exactly right.
But he had this sauce that he developed for they used to have a restaurant called the Red Barn Barbecue, which was in Leesburg for decades. I mean, people would drive in from all over. And he took that recipe to his grave. And for years, people would just show up at my grandmother's house, knock on there. You sure you don't have just a little bit of Roy's barbecue sauce left? You sure you don't know how he made this?
Yeah.
And that was like the missing component in the book was that barbecue sauce. And I finally went to one of my family functions, not this Easter, but the one before. And there's a whole lot of family drama and trauma. We love each other, but most of the times we don't like each other.
I think it's most families.
So we had
Love and
taken
like
some
is terribly different. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we had taken some space, and all the women, they got word that I was doing this cookbook. So like they're coming up, oh, here's my banana pudding recipe. Well, I was known for my fruit salad, but also my cherry cobblers. So take this. And then my Uncle Rooster, which yes, that is his name.
It's very Southern, guys.
Very Southern.
That's awesome.
He pulls me aside, and he's like one that I've clashed with my whole life. It's very like I was always the embarrassment. I was, like just all sorts of projected drama.
Okay.
And I thought he was gonna pull me aside and just like basically ream me out for don't write things about us, don't embarrass the family. I was like, well, first of all, too late. But second of all, I was just like so nervous walking into this conversation with him because I didn't want it to turn into anything that it usually does.
Sure.
And he goes, I know the recipe. I ran the second location. I'm the only body who has the recipe, and I've been saving it. I haven't given it to your granny. I haven't given it to your mom, your aunts, your cousins, anybody. And he wrote it down and gave it to me, and I was like, this is a trick. This isn't real. First of all, this looks very simple to be so delicious. And then I went home and I'm just mad the whole time. Like, I'm going to hate this. Da, da, da. I took one lick of it and I was like, oh my God, this is it. I felt like I was 10 years old again.
That's crazy.
I felt like I was right back there in the restaurant singing on the bar counter for the patrons.
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
think that is an inherently Southern thing, and I grew up with that too. Like, I have so many memories of making Southern treats with my mom and dad, and like I was an only child, so a lot of times I was pulled in to do that because there was nobody else, you know.
Yeah.
So I knew how to cook all these brown sugar pies and all these different things, making sweet tea with tons of sugar in it.
Yeah.
and putting.
just a little bit of whiskey.
Yeah, and then you have to put the little net over the top of it so you don't get flies in it, you know, because it's sitting outside. And
Yeah, making sun tea.
yeah, like
or-
a lot of people hear that, you dumb bumpkin. And I'm like, I don't know, man, I love it.
I do too. There's nothing like it. And Granny always had 2 pitchers of tea. There was the one for the family, and then there was Granny's special recipe.
The whiskey
And
tea.
yeah, and she would always be like, I'm just taking a sip of the recipe. I'll be right back. And she would. I was like, you can put it in a flask. Everybody knows.
That's awesome. I love it.
But what I really loved so much about tying the recipes into the stories was that it instantly makes it more accessible for people, because whether they have been in the same exact situation, everybody. I keep saying that the whole reason I wrote the book was to show people that we have more in common than we don't, and that typically if we stop talking to each other, we start talking with each other, we learn a lot more.
Yeah.
And I think that the recipes are like that softening little thing that brings people into the conversation in a safe way. It already disarms them so that when you start talking about actual experience and stories, they're already at ease and a little more comfortable with it. Or they go, oh, I remember eating biscuits and gravy when I was little, and it always made me feel like this.
Is there a self-help aspect to this? Because as I was kind of fanning through the book a little bit, there were a lot of I saw little bits in there about like, don't, you like almost like kind of powering me up a little bit. Like, you're good enough. You can do this kind of stuff. Like, how do you choose what to put in or what to put your emphasis on when you're writing something like that?
Well, people have asked me if it's a self-help book, and I'm like, no, it's a book about how I've helped myself.
Okay.
So I don't tell you what you should do in your life. I just tell you what I've done in mine that has gone horribly and hilariously wrong. And hopefully you can learn from that. But it did take me, I had not the best experience growing up. I went from one abusive relationship to the next, and I've learned that, whenever you are in that situation, if that's the only thing you're hearing every day from the people that are supposed to love you and protect you is that you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not talented enough, you're not this, you're not that, you're not anything, then you start to believe it. That becomes your reality. And I had to force my own way out of that. And once I did, I realized, oh no, everybody is pretty enough and talented enough and beautiful. Like, everybody can be and do exactly what they want as long as they set their boundaries. And then the hardest part is sticking to those boundaries.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm a horrible boundary
I was
setter.
gonna say Tom hates boundaries.
I am too.
Yeah. I thought it was no boundaries. That was how you were successful in life, but apparently that causes you a lot of
It's a lot of pain.
it just
Complicates things.
Hey,
Yeah.
come in I'm open for business.
Anything goes. Yeah.
I'm curious about the world tour and what countries did you visit, and I'm curious about like the drag scene in those countries because like something I'm unfamiliar with.
Yeah, we're very lucky, I think. Sans like, the hubbub recently of what's been happening here. I mean, up to this point, it was like we get the best of the best coming through Orlando, I mean, it's kind of like around here, it was like Dragland, like I've still know, multiple drag queens, and I kind of thought this was the place. But
It is. It's typical of Florida in general. It's such a melting pot.
Sure.
I talk about in the book, like, drag, I have learned, is a regional sport, and it is played differently in a different type of uniform every nook and cranny that you go to around the world, which is so interesting to me because as somebody that does get to travel a lot, it keeps it really fresh. I always learn different things. I mean, I've been doing this 20 years now, and I'm still picking up tips and tricks from all these other people. But Orlando's always been one of those places where we do get all different types of drag queens from different scenes that just kind of end up here. and it always made it really beautiful and eclectic and different for me. Which was why when all of the drag bands and all that started happening earlier in the year, it was so surprising to me. Like, I know that Florida is typically a conservative state.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I've always felt like, particularly in Orlando, it's just got some of the best people in the world. Like, after Pulse happened, I saw that even the people that did not necessarily agree with us and what we did or who we were,
Sure.
they all came together to protect us. And it was like, no, like, before being a drag queen or before being a singer or a dancer or an actor or anything, you're my neighbor, you're my friend, you're my child, you're my cousin, any of that. So there was this whole familial aspect to it. And I've always felt that closeness here, which is why it really kind of took me by surprise when all of a sudden it was an issue.
Right.
Right. And it was an issue. And then also, it seemed like it was an issue, but to like most of my people that do drag, it was business as usual, really, for a lot of them. I mean,
yeah, well, I mean, I will say that, you know, some of the venues that I've been out for 15 years now that have always been safe spaces, suddenly we were getting like actual Nazi protesters in the streets.
Yeah.
We were getting bricks through the windows.
Yeah.
But then I looked and I was like, I don't recognize any of these people.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then you watch them drive away, and they've got out-of-state license plates and stuff. You're like, oh, so you're not from here.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the attention brings out the crazies.
It does.
You know, it's
It
like, and then
does.
it's like, you know, so it's like all the media brings out crazies, and it's like, this is not even real. It's like the internet is like, and hopefully it all blows. They're so stupid that even.
Well, they
you know,
did just strike it down.
Yeah. So,
And say
I
that
mean,
it's unconstitutional. But the whole thing about it is it's not a progressive or a conservative issue, because there are progressive and conservative drag queens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a drag queen, like movies and like songs and like books. There is one for every type of person out there.
Yeah.
Some of them are appropriate for families and children. Some are not. It's all about knowing what you're getting into before you go to it.
yeah.
It-
If you
it's-
approach anything case by case, you usually can figure it out, right? But everybody likes to blanket everything, and that's how you get into trouble.
Well,
yeah.
You know,
did
it's
you-
like, don't do that.
Did you get an idea of like how drag was, like the scene, or in the
Like in
different
Mexico.
countries? Yeah,
Like,
like
how
Mexico.
is the Mexican drag scene, I guess? Is it like,
Oh, it's brilliant. It's
Yeah.
amazing. Some of the most beautiful entertainers I've ever worked
is there a
with.
style or something that they don't typically go
Is it
for?
different country to country? On the
It is.
Okay.
I mean, everything. Like I said, it's a regional sport, so everywhere you go, it's so different. But the key basics are the same. And that's. I mean, it's a lot like cooking. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
it's like if you're making a biscuit, you know you're going to use this, this, and this. But what do you spice it up with?
Sure. To set yourself apart.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
How does it look different? How does it taste different? All those kinds of things. I mean, drag is. I didn't realize it until writing the book, but drag is so similar to cooking in the sense of the creative liberties that you can and cannot take.
That's true. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
I've never really thought about that.
I didn't either till I had to.
That's that's not. Well, that's probably why you wrote the book, just to
And-
stay smart, right? It's
Well,
like-
and then after months of just sitting down and trying to bang out this memoir and not being able to get past page 1, once I found what the end was, I wrote the first draft in a week. I mean, it has changed. It's gotten a lot shorter. It was like War and Peace when I first wrote it. And my editor was like, I don't know how you can go from talking about this traumatic thing to muffins. And I was like, I don't either, Michelle. Give me a break. I'm figuring it out. But Simon and Schuster, like when I first went to them and I was like, I want to do this and this and this. And they're like, no. Nobody does that. First of all, we don't want to get in the food realm because that
Right.
automatically puts costs through the roof. Then you got to get the best paper. Then it's got to be this kind. And I
yeah,
was like,
cookbooks have to have like a thicker.
yeah, well,
thi-
because they have to be durable. They
Sure.
have. I learned that the pages have to be laminated in a certain way so that if you're cooking with it, you can wipe them off.
I never
I
even thought of that.
Yeah.
I
You know
didn't
why I know
either.
that? I cheated. I was listening to your interview on. You were doing an interview about the book like from 2 days ago, and you're walking through the entire paper. So I cheated. But yeah, I learned from you about that. I was like, oh my god, you did have to spend more money on the pages.
Well, that's the thing. Everybody's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I saw the article, a 6-figure book deal." I said,
Look
and
at
I've
this
seen
book.
0.
Look at
Yeah,
how thick the pages are,
I-
dude. This is those thick boy pages. Like
It's
I mean,
it's
it
a
makes sense, but
beautiful
yeah, I would
book.
have never thought about
yeah,
that.
but you don't think
Yeah.
about like how this thing has got like it's got the borderline around the outside. You know, like the fancy stuff. See? Look at that. So that's a lot of
Yeah,
wasted
yeah,
page
yeah.
over there. You got to put some words on there.
Well, that means I would have had to write more. But what I learned through the whole process, I mean, they fought me on it really hard. And I was like, just let me go and write like a chapter or two, see if it works.
Cool.
I did that, and they were like, okay, it works. But you do realize that you have to pay for all of these things that happen.
The
They're
elements,
like,
yeah.
now that you're doing a cookbook, which I also didn't know, you have to hire 2 different test kitchens to do the recipes to make sure that they're foolproof, basically.
Really?
Oh, you're blowing
God
Tom's mind.
damn.
Yeah.
I thought you could just
He's
put
the
out
business
whatever you
Yeah,
want.
just print out
I
what I
thought you
cook at
just-
home. What
you
the
just
hell?
Put whatever, it's like the recipe, that's subjective how you interpret it, if it's good or not.
Yeah.
So I can just put anything
I
in
mean,
there.
think about how litigious people are. You know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Like,
those-
yeah,
Well,
it's
I
not
got diarrhea
poison.
from the book.
Don't add poison. But other than that, I thought they
Anything
had to
goes
go.
besides poison.
They had to literally go through every recipe to make sure that
So I had
There's like
to do
50
it.
recipes in there, something around 100
There's
recipes.
50 recipes.
That's a lot of recipes.
And what I also learned was that Southern women have a very specific way of writing recipes. So my editor called. I thought the recipes were going to be the easy part, right? My editor Michelle calls me and she goes, have you looked at these? I said, yeah, I'm the one that transcribed them all. She goes, you cannot tell a Midwestern housewife to add a whisper of this, walk it by this, and then mix it up until it reaches up out of the bowl and slaps you in the face.
Yeah.
I was like, but I know exactly what that means. And she said, okay, that's great. Now you translate it and write it down. So then it became me and my husband, CJ, like he graduated from the Culinary Institute of America. So he's very much on
Oh,
the...
that helps.
Oh, my
All right.
God.
I'm the better cook. He's the better chef. But
Okay.
everything he does is so scientific and mathematical.
Sure,
Like
yeah.
it's all broken down.
Yeah.
So I would tell him like, this is what I do when I make it. And he goes, okay, so then let's backtrack this and figure out how much of this is that.
What's a whisper?
Yeah.
What is
And
that?
a whisper is literally when you take the salt in your hand and you go like that.
Well, that is cooler.
How do you quantify that?
Yeah, well,
My-
so
my
it
grandma
was a lot
says
of
that.
trial and
Yeah.
error.
On one of the recipe cards, it actually says you want to whip. We're whipping egg whites. It says on the card to whip the egg whites till they raise to your eyes.
Yeah.
What does that mean? I, don't
I mean,
know what
it's
that
not
means. Yeah,
literal,
they're just,
but-
I guess stiff peaks.
It's
you know?
poetic.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like what an old lady would say. You know?
So we had a lot of trial and error. It was like 5-6 times for every recipe to get those right. Then we had to send them off to the test kitchens, and it took them a couple of months to be like, okay, we've cooked through everything, that all checks out. Luckily, we didn't have to redo any of it, but it became such a much more expensive and in-depth process than I ever thought it would be.
So you picked the hardest book,
Oh
right?
my God, really?
The hardest book.
All right.
Well, and then...
Your husband's like, yes, it's hard.
Well, then I was like, well, I'm also going to do a tell-all aspect to it as well because people want the drag race tea. They want to know
Yeah,
about this
yeah.
and that, da, da, da. So then I had to get 3 lawyers involved.
No, yeah.
And
I've
pay all
heard that
them.
part of it. Yeah. Anytime you write biography or memoir, there's always some lawyer like, your aunt is gonna sue you. You know, like, and then it's like then you have to get like written permission from them or something like.
Yeah.
So was there anything in the book that you had to take out because
out.
your family members or someone didn't want you to tell the story?
No, there
Okay.
were things I had to talk around, but nothing that I took out. So somebody asked me the other day, they were like, so this is your whole life story? I said, no, it's my life story. It's not the whole life story.
That's great.
Because there are certain things that
Yeah.
even after so the biggest thing was when I did the audiobook. I recorded it myself.
Yeah.
And
That's awesome.
it's different to type something and to read it to yourself. When you read it out loud, sometimes you're like, oh,
Yeah.
there's a reason I've never even told my therapist this. Okay, maybe it's time to figure out a different way to get from point A to point Z without having to really dwell on what's in the middle. So I don't eliminate anything, but I follow the path as quickly as I can so that it doesn't get bogged down in terrible things. But my mom, I gave her the original copy of the manuscript before I even sent it to the publisher.
Nice.
She didn't read it. Then I got the galley copy, which is the black and white
Sounds like something my mom would do.
paperback.
Did she didn't read it on purpose, or
No,
just
well, she just never did. And
Oh, okay.
I
I'll
would,
get
I
around
would
to it.
dwell
Yeah.
on. I was like, I've got to send this in. If you want anything changed, I have to know.
Deadlines, yeah.
So then they send me the black and white galley copy. I give it to her. It sits on her nightstand for 2 months, and I'm like, Ma, you've got to read this. You are in it. And she never did. It wasn't until I left to host the Work the World tour, the final copies of the book got delivered to my house, and my mother called me. It was like 4 a.m. I was in Amsterdam. Joshua? I was like, what, Mother? I just read the book. I said, oh, finally.
it's already out.
What'd you think?
There's no turning back now.
Yeah, it's like
you
a week
liked
before
it.
it comes out, and she goes, I said, you read the whole thing? No, I've just gotten through the first chapter. Why would you tell them this about me? I said, because it's a part of the story. I said, here, I'll make you a deal. You read through to the end, and if that part isn't important, then I'll do everything I can. And I couldn't do anything, but I said, I'll do everything I can to
Right.
make sure it gets eliminated. So she finished reading the book, and she called me the next day, and she's like, okay, it makes sense. I see why you put it in there.
Yeah.
And then she was like, I'm so proud of you. It's so good. It's such a great history of our life and our story. And
Yeah, and it's
That's
got
awesome.
humor in it. I just think it carries more weight because it has the humor and the
well,
recipes.
and the
Like,
recipes.
yeah,
and
it's got-
I carry a lot of weight.
Yeah,
so-
well, I mean, so do I. You know, I mean, we're happy.
How'd you land Hocus Pocus 2? I'm curious.
Yeah,
like,
that's
how'd that
huge.
even happen?
I got a phone call from the director, Ann Fletcher. She called me when I was I was playing Ursula in a Disney Villains tour in London. God, 3 years ago?
People are still mad about that,
Yep.
by the way.
I
I'm
know.
one
Chat
of 'em.
room already
Yeah.
said it a couple
I
times.
know,
By the way,
but-
we've sold some books. This is good. I mean, but
Oh, I
everybody-
love that.
We have so many questions. But the people are mad about the Ursula thing.
They
like,
really are. But you know what? I appreciate it so much because I don't have to get mad about these things. I don't have to take that on. I can just continue to be happy
Yeah.
and spread positivity because I know that other people are going to be upset for me. And honestly, because I didn't get Ursula, what a lot of people don't know, and I again talk about this a little more in depth in the book, but I had a lot of auditions for that movie. I kept getting brought back, and I was like, I don't think this is ever going to
For
happen.
Little Mermaid.
For Little Mermaid.
Yeah, did you
I
know
was
that?
Well, explain to me the Ursula thing, because I'm out of the loop with everything. I'm so far away from the loop, I can't even see it.
Yeah.
Well,
I
I
don't know
live
what's
next
going
to
on
the
in the
loop.
world.
You can only see a whisper of the loop.
A whisper. So when they first announced that the live action Little Mermaid was going to happen, who was it? It was Billboard. Billboard put out this article that was like 10 reasons why Ginger Minj is the only option for Ursula.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it gained a lot of traction. And of course, like Little Mermaid was the first movie I ever saw in a movie theater. I was obsessed with Ursula. I thought she was very misunderstood. And I thought she was glamorous and powerful and sexy in her own way. And that's what really, like, even before I knew who Divine was, I just was so caught up with her.
Yeah.
And then to find out years later that she was based on Divine,
Right.
it was like, oh, this all makes sense
Yeah.
in my head in the
Yeah.
past. So a lot of people were like, well, she was based on Divine. It's time that like an actual drag artist gets a crack at the role. They're the only ones that can like sing it and really do the makeup.
And you're a great
do the-
singer. You know, like a
Well,
lot of.
thank you. I tried.
I don't think a lot of
Yeah.
people know that, but yeah, you are like an actual person that can
And
sing.
has performed those songs for a long
Yeah,
time.
for a
So
very
people-
long
I mean,
time.
Seen you do it.
it's
yeah,
out there and
it's-
everybody has seen it, so everyone was
and-
like, well, the obvious choice is
Yeah,
Ginger
yeah,
Minj.
okay,
When you
yeah,
see
yeah.
Ginger Minj do the thing, you're like, well, that's Ursula.
That's a wrap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so it got a lot of traction and a lot of petitions started. And so it caught the eye of Disney. And eventually, you know, I'm auditioning for them and doing all those things. And I thought it's never going to happen, but maybe there's a chance that it'll happen. and then it didn't mostly because of political reasons.
Gotcha.
Which again, never expected it, but it would have been nice. But Disney then decided to make it up to me, which they didn't have to do, but they decided to make it up to me by like creating other projects for me. So I've done several of them. I can only talk about Hocus Pocus at this point.
Right.
But
Look at that.
I had done Dumplin' on Netflix.
Yeah.
Jennifer
Yeah.
Aniston, Kathy Najimy. It was directed by Ann Fletcher. So I had messaged her. She and I became friends, and I had messaged her just randomly, if you need somebody to wrangle the broomsticks, let me know. And she calls me again. It's like 2, 3 in the morning. I'm in London, and she's like, Minj, I need you to get on the next plane. I have created this role for you, and in Hocus Pocus 2, and I want you to bring like a couple of your sisters from Drag Race. I was like, oh, okay. Like, to do what? And she's like, well, I was talking to the Disney executives. They had brought you up because we wanted to put like a drag element into it because Hocus Pocus has become such a touchstone for the drag community.
Yeah.
For everybody, really, but the drag queens are the ones that have really kept those witches alive for the
Yeah.
last 30 years.
When the original witches, dare I say, they may have abandoned it until they saw the dollar signs. Like you guys
Yeah.
were carrying the torch.
Yeah,
the
I mean,
only people that were ever doing those
for
characters were drag queens.
decades,
for sure.
for decades. And so she said, we really want to pay homage to that, and Disney agrees with me that it should be you. So I gave them a list of some other girls. We ended up with Cornbread and Kimora, who I adore, and we just had the best time. It was the most surreal moment of my life because I was obsessed with that from my childhood.
Yeah.
And like the very last day, we were there for 2 weeks, and we're filming in Newport, Rhode Island. It's like 4:00 in the morning. The three of us are just tired, and we're standing over on like this little grassy knoll, and the director screams out, 3, 2, 1, go. And all three of the witches just take off flying over our heads. And I was just like, I was 8 years old again, and I'm like, like crying and laughing and like screaming. It was just surreal. It was amazing. And then the very last thing that we had to do was my close-up shot. And it was late, and they were trying to get out of there. So they were like, let's just cheat the shot. And I don't know. I've done a couple of movies, but I'm like, I don't have the power, first of all, to stop production and check the angles. But I also wouldn't know what to look for. And Bette Midler goes, no, bring us the monitor. And they bring it over, and she goes, this is awful. Move that light. Move the camera over here. Raise it to here. Da-da-da. She's directing all this shit.
Really?
And the next thing she goes, we'll be in the trailer. She grabs me by the arm. She goes, I can't do this for you every time. Learn to look for what you need. And so we sit in the trailer. An hour later, they bring us back out. They bring the monitor over, and she goes, look, the lighting's hitting you from here. This is da-da-da. And it's a beautiful shot. It's a gorgeous shot, which is great because it's my only one in the movie. But
That's awesome.
she was like, see, these are the things that you have to look for. So I was like, well, Bette Midler's my new drag.
Yeah, you're like,
Obviously.
that's an awesome story.
Dreams, man.
Yeah.
Like, this is like you're the flying over.
Yeah.
8 years old. She comes.
Bette
Oh,
Midler
man.
got your back with the
And
last shot.
the three of them were just the nicest people. I've learned that, like, the more famous the person, usually the nicer they've been.
Yeah.
And the more invested they've been in, like, having us as a part of their projects.
That's good to know.
Like, Kathy and Jim, at my very first day, I wasn't even filming Dumplin' yet. I had gone out for some costume tests. And I'm sitting out, like, smoking a cigarette on the stoops of this trailer, feeling very much at home. And Kathy Najimy bursts out of the trailer across from me, and she goes, oh, God, you're here. And she's like, come on, I want to take you to meet somebody. So she literally takes me on a tour. And we do this whole big loop of the filming location. And then by the time we make it back around, she had my trailer moved right next to hers, so that we could do our makeup every day together and listen to Beyonce, because that's what she wanted to do. And so we're sitting there, and I hear knock, 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 knock. I open the door, and it's Jennifer Aniston, and she's standing there holding a coffee, and she goes, I read in an interview one time that you really liked this coffee, so I had it shipped in for you. And she brought it to me every morning that we filmed.
Jennifer
Aniston
Aniston
brought
was
you your
slave?
coffee?
Jennifer
Aniston was your coffee slave.
was my barista.
We're getting hot fruit punch from Egypt.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And the whole time.
I just had a fat guy bring me a Whopper. you got Jennifer Aniston bringing you
my
a
God.
specialty coffee.
Yeah, and she just kept thanking me for being a part of their movie, and I'm like, yeah, thank you, gal. And then like she every
and your
day-
name is Red Vagina.
yeah,
Well.
Firecrotch.
Yeah, Firecracker. Like it blows. It makes me so
that
happy.
was the interesting
Is
thing
that a big
about
deal, your
working
name?
with Disney.
Is that a big deal?
I had to sign a contract that for a year I would go just by Ginger.
Oh.
Yeah. And I was like, like I've
That's
gotten
not
a lot
bad.
of.
That's not bad though.
No, I've got and honestly, like if you hear Ginger in the drag world, you think of me because I'm really the only one,
Right.
and have been for a long time. But it was just so interesting to me because I got a lot of flack about my name from different projects, like big, high-profile projects. And they're like, we just don't know if we can use you because of your name. And they're like, well, in all fairness, when I created this name, drag wasn't what it is.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
it was all about dirty, punny, funny names.
Yeah.
Drag Race wasn't on the air. It wasn't mainstream.
Yeah.
Like I'm fine going just by Ginger. At this point.
Yeah.
You keep it in the food world. I'll be Ginger Mint.
I told.
Minj. I can pivot.
I told Buffalo Wild Wings I would change my name to Danny Wild Wings if they sponsored our show. Like I mean, you do what you got to do.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
Yeah.
But also, I feel like Minj. I mean, at least because I grew up in Florida, so did you.
I
didn't
tested
know
him
what
ahead of
Minj
time.
meant.
I didn't either. Yeah.
I tested him. I
you
said,
said,
"Do
you know what
guys
Minj
what
means? I'm like, I have
Minj
no
means?"
idea.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
And then you told me, I was like, oh, really? Like, you'd have to look that up, though.
Yeah, well, I didn't know what it meant
yeah, yeah.
either
Yeah, yeah.
when my
Most
drag mother
Americans
gave it to
probably would
me.
not.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it true that you got that name from Sleuths?
Sleuth's Mystery Dinner Show.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's where I started doing drag as
Yeah.
a career because I got into drag through theater. And whenever Sleuths first open, it's like this Sleuths legend. There's a mix and mingle portion at the beginning of the show
Yeah.
where the characters kind of go through the audience, kind of set up who they are and why they're there. And this old Scotsman character went up to a redheaded woman and screamed across the whole restaurant, "Nigel, do you think that one's got a ginger minge?" And she knew what it meant, and she punched him and she broke his jaw.
Oh my God.
So in their first year of operation in 1985, like it became this lawsuit. It's this thing that everybody talked about, but nobody was allowed to talk about. So when I started doing drag, the owner of Sleuth, Sandy, who I just adore with every fiber of my being. I love everybody there, but she came up to me and she's like, "I know you're broke. I pay your bills." I was like, "Yeah." She goes,
That's
"I
what you
will."
say.
She said, "I will pay for all of your drag if you just take this name and turn it into something positive." And I was like, okay. I mean, I was gonna be redheaded anyway. I love Ginger Spice, Ginger Grant, Ginger
Boom.
Rogers. So it made sense for me, and it's something that she still tells me, like, you're one of my biggest success stories.
Well, I mean,
You know,
she said, take
Dusty
this
Rhodes
name.
used to do that. Dusty Rhodes
Yeah,
used to
yeah.
name all the wrestlers, to bring it back to Southern wrestling, Mark Marrow, a lot of the, Dusty would come up with the gimmicks and give you your name, and he'd be like, "That's what you're gonna be, baby."
Do you think?
My husband was a professional wrestler for
No
a while.
way!
Yeah.
All right.
God,
This
you're
is
the
a
most-
dynamic
The
duo
whole
here.
chat room's melting. They're like, "This is the greatest interview you've ever done." I'm so glad it's a long one. We're like, "We're so glad it is too."
Do you think you're the most famous person from Leesburg?
That's a good
yes.
question.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, I absolutely do. And only because I have all these people from Leesburg that still message me and they're like, "I can't believe you got out. This is so great."
No, because we watched other interviews and you were talking about I'm from Leesburg, Florida. And someone's
I'm
interview.
glad you
and
own
no
it.
one ever heard of
Yeah,
it. And from us, we were right next to Leesburg. We've known about Leesburg.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I'm from DeLand. I'm from a little
Yeah,
town.
you get it.
but then,
Yeah, I get
Well, can I tell you the honest truth? I'm not even from Leesburg. I'm from Umatilla.
Oh my God, I have
Oh.
relatives in
Umatilla.
Umatilla.
Yeah.
well, you're definitely the most famous person.
Yeah.
Well, and the whole Leesburg thing. I mean, I've been in Leesburg since I was 11. So
That's
I really
close,
like my
yeah.
formative years. I remember Leesburg.
Sure.
But Umatilla, I wasn't allowed to say it on Drag Race because I guess there's like a famous Umatilla that they were afraid that one was going to be confused for, and they're like, we really want to go with the southern angle We want to make sure people know, like, get a full, good sense of who you are as a person. And they're like, go with Leesburg.
All right.
Yeah, I like
Guess
that.
that's a bigger city.
Yeah.
Um,
It also, Leesburg, it does sound maybe a little more southern.
Like,
Yeah.
And I told them, I was like, honestly, like, my memories are from Leesburg.
Yeah,
But,
Sure.
but it was Umatilla.
Well, I
Lake
hope you'll
County,
come back
baby.
and see us. I
Of
will
course.
tell all of our listeners who, and I know some people have already purchased this. Get your book right now.
Great Christmas present.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
perfect Christmas
I
present.
got to tell you,
Please.
it is the first drag book that Walmart has put on their shelves.
really?
All right.
I just
What?
found out the other day.
How'd you do that?
I have no idea, but my editor Michelle called me and she was like, "Okay, we did great with Barnes and Noble. We did great with Books a Million, all the independent stores, Amazon. That's all nice." But Walmart just did a purchase order of thousands of books and put them on all their shelves for the holiday season. And she was like, "That's really big." I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay, I'm glad you told me because I wouldn't know."
Yeah.
Well, Walmart knows what will sell.
There's
They
one
know
thing
money.
they're not allergic
Southern
to is
cooking.
money.
Yeah.
Well, and if you look at the cover of the book, I look like a typical Walmart shopper. So I
That's
know my
hilarious.
fan base, and I pander to it.
I'm the only person on the show that admits to going to and liking Walmart. Like, I'm the Walmart guy.
I used to be the
Yeah.
Walmart guy. Now I'm the Target guy, simply because it's closer to my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a Starbucks in it.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you so much for coming
Yeah, this
in.
is
We
great.
really appreciate it.
Yeah.
We're so stoked about the book, and congrats on all the other projects. And hopefully, when you can have some of those other Disney things you can tell us about.
Yeah,
Hey, I
one
can't
of
wait
them's
to see
coming
what you
up in
do.
the next month, so I'll
right.
definitely.
All right.
I'll reach out to
There
you.
you go.
Awesome. All right. We will see you tomorrow.
All right, that's it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, that was great.
Oh, man, that was terrific. Thank you so much for doing the full 40. I'm
Yeah.
stoked about that. That's fantastic. Well, thank you.
You guys want to do a show pick?
Yeah, we should. I always forget. Thank you again.
I always forget too.
And if you don't mind, she'll kill me if you don't sign
Oh,
it.
now tell her it will decrease in value.
Yeah, no, she hopes that she is going to knock out, I think, a bunch of the recipes, to tell you the truth.
They're so.
I did it
like,
in
I
New York,
rewrote them
on
and
Long
rewrote
Island.
them.
Oh, okay.
And then when I moved here,
Well, this is how I
14
cook,
years
though,
ago,
because
I was just
all my relatives are from the
Good.
Carolinas and Virginia.
This is fun.
and-
This is great.
Oh, the gummy bear tattoo, Sam.
Yeah,
I love it.
I'm just glad I'm 32 and can walk on my own.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're very
It
lucky.
messes a lot of those guys up.
Hogan was just bitching about that like a couple days ago. He's talking about his
He
finishing
compressed
move.
his spine. so
Yeah,
much,
he's
yeah.
compressed his spine.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much.
course.
Love you, love you.
But
Appreciate
they're
you
good.
coming by.
Like, they were like, they
Oh,
wrestled
and I'll
with
sign
me.
these. These are for you guys. You can do
They,
whatever.
Oh,
you want
yeah.
with them.
Well, we might want to do a
Thank you so much.
giveaway for the chat room. One of them,
Go for it.
because they're like clamoring. Yeah, you have to have one, Sammy.
I will buy one.
Yeah, that's another thing too. It's always nice to support. That's
I'll
what I
charge
do
you
with all
$100
my music friends.
It's a signed
My wife
copy.
is gonna be so jealous that I was here all during the interview because she's the Disney put up the thing for the holidays. She does the decorating and she's sleeping right now, so she couldn't even listen.
Well, so do you know why they didn't cast me?
Oh, we're still on Twitch and YouTube. I'll turn it
No,
off.
I know. I
Okay.
talk about it in the book. It's
Okay.
totally fine.
Okay.
China and Russia wouldn't sign off on it because of the drag aspect.
Yeah.
Because
Interesting.
I heard that about
homosexuality
China,
is against the law over there, so that we can't promote it.
Huh.
And then, now it's all about money, worldwide sales and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they're just
So
like,
that
sorry,
sucks.
that doesn't make money there, so we can't do it.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, and then it ended up being Melissa McCarthy, which she was fine. She's kind of like a drunk aunt, which I thought it's an interesting interpretation. Not what I would have done with
Yeah.
it, but I thought it worked for her.
Yeah, it was fine. It just
Her
wasn't
makeup artist should have been.
It wasn't what I wanted,
Yeah.
but I'm also your age. I like that movie.
Yeah.
I have a lot of the same things. I saw it
But
early.
she had gotten tagged in all of the things about me because people were mad it wasn't me.
I
I never did.
People were really mad.
I
dude.
love her, so I was like, I'm fine.
You got no hate.
We went and did the Drag Isn't Dangerous telethon in LA, and she was a special guest. She was so nervous to be in the room with me.
Okay,
And so I was
she
like-
probably thought you were pissed at her.
I was like,
Yeah,
I
no.
love you. I can't wait to see the movie. And she was like, yeah, I'm sorry. I had nothing to do with it. I was like, well, first of all, you did. But second of all, who cares? I wouldn't have turned it down for anybody
Yeah,
else.
you got to do it. You got to do it.
No, but she was so sweet. But it was
That's
just
awesome.
so funny how how nervous she was to be
Sure.
around me.
I bet.
Yeah. I make myself nervous.
Yeah, I do too. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming. Very nice meeting you too. Yeah.
Oh, did you want to pick?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Here you go, Sam. Well, you're gonna be in it. We'll get EJ to take it. I'll take a picture. Yeah, thanks, buddy.
I don't know what your code is.
69. No. It's not. That's my mom and dad's old phone number from like 30 years ago. No one would know that.
Should we hold a book?
Portrait? Yeah. Oh my God. Thank God we have a producer. Portrait or landscape? Portrait. Landscape. We can't. I don't know. That's why I asked the question. One, two, three. Another one, just to save, and another one. There we go. I definitely got to get a picture with you because my wife is so jealous. Thank you so much, guys. Pleasure seeing you. Thank you so much. Oh, there, yeah. Just make sure we got them, and you got my phone. Oh, thank you.
Your screen protector is as bad as mine.
Awesome. That was fun. Really
Good.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. All right.
Enjoy the rest of that Burger King.
You want some Burger King?
Oh, Andrea missed all of it.
Oh, really?
Is this on tonight?
This is gonna be Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Oh, perfect.
Yep, you'll be tomorrow. Is it 7 to 8?
8.
7 to 8.
Our social media person, they'll tag you, and then we'll promote that it's gonna be out and everything, so you'll know.
Yeah, you should get a tag. So, cheers, guys. Have a good rest of your day. Happy Thanksgiving. Do we have anything else to do?
No, that's
Intros.
it. Just intros.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, I'm glad you guys. It seems like everybody loved that. Yeah, he's what a wonderful person. That's fun. All right. Well, I guess we'll go do our intros. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the Friday Free Show, right?
Yep,
And
yep.
that's about it. Did we talk ourselves out of the thing we were going to put on the BDM page?
Well, I did.
Okay.
Yeah. I was just like,
Yeah, just keep it light, maybe.